Welcome to the Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 meeting. Please silence cell phones, pagers, and other electronic communication devices. Agendas and speaker request forms are located at the back of the chambers. Nobody here besides us, so we're all here. So we'll have Commissioner Durr lead us in a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance, if you don't mind, so, sir.
Okay. So the moment of silence this morning, it's going to be kind of a personal one, and it's related to our soldiers, but Colton's best buddy that brought him home to South Dakota, he's in the hospital in ICU and battling for his life. And so anyway, just prayers to Corey, and thanks.
Thank you. We will pray for that young man. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, and we will move on to the agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Items from public speaker request forms. I have no speaker request forms, so we'll move on to the County Board of Equalization hearing. And Shannon, we'll give you the floor, sir. And I just want to say this will probably be Shannon's last rodeo with the commission here. He's going to resign and become a full-time volunteer fireman. So, Shannon, you got the floor, sir.
Well, we got a couple more days.
Right, but I mean for the last kickoff of the, yep.
I think it would be funny if you come in and represent people.
It would be funny, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so we start the Board of Equalization. The first thing we do is exempt properties. And on their schedule, the first appeal of a property we have.
Speaking of the mic, we can't pick it.
The first appeal we have on a property is at 9 o'clock, so we've probably got a little bit of time here. The reason we do exempt properties first is because if you deny an exemption from property taxes, the property owner has the right in statute to come back after a given period of time, and I want to say it's like 2 weeks, to make an argument before the board. So we do it at the beginning, so there's time for that. But I don't expect that that's going to happen this year. So about the exempt properties, to be exempt from property taxes, the property must meet the requirements in the statute. And there's a statute for religious entities, charities, benevolent organizations, school, hospital, all of these different organizations. There's a statute for each. They generally say that you have to be an exempt entity, you have to be a church, and use it for a church purpose. That they're all consistent in that. But the entity has to make an application to the Director of Equalization requesting an exemption from property taxes. All of those applications are posted in the newspaper. We provide those to the auditor. The auditor publishes those, so it's made public. So the public knows who's asking for an exemption from property taxes. Then they come to you, where you actually approve or deny that exemption from property taxes. Now, what we do in Pennington County is we split all of those applications up into some different categories, so you can see them separately. The first one, we've got these properties have been exempt in the past, and they've made an application for, continuing exemption from property taxes. No argument from my office. We think they qualify, and they're entities that this board has seen before.
Excuse me, Shannon. The question I have, do you, when it's an exempt property, do you guys value that property anyway, just so we know? Okay.
Yep, we do, because the law says that we have to value all properties.
Okay.
So we mail out an assessment notice to these people with a value on it. You might deny an exemption, and then that value becomes important to them.
Okay.
But they all get an assessment notice. But that's something fairly new. We've been doing that 4 or 5 years. There was a long time there that we didn't, because there were too many other properties that are going to pay tax that we needed to get an accurate value on them. And eventually, we got all of these valued as well. So they still get an assessment notice. And to some of them, it's some good information, how much their property's worth. They appreciate that. For all of these, it ain't going to matter. They ain't going to pay property taxes anyways.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek, you have the floor,
I
sir.
was going to ask Shannon a question.
Yep,
So
Shannon?
Shannon, if we go through with Senate Bill 96 and Senate Bill 245, those folks are still going to get an assessed value. That's not going to change.
Oh, nothing will change.
Nothing will change. Just
Yep.
wanted to make that clear. Your assessment is not going down with either one of those. It's-
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Nothing will change in that process. The resulting tax could on the owner-occupied properties, but nothing in our office will change.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, as we go forward.
Thank you, sir. Shannon?
So on this first list, this is properties that have been exempt in the past and have applied. Timely application, everything is good. My office recommends that you grant them an exemption from property taxes, and I'd like to suggest that that be a motion here.
Mr. Chairman, a question.
Yes, Commissioner Drews.
So I noticed that there's some messages on here that indicated a call was made or a letter, second letter was sent. You didn't receive a response from those, or?
We did, but we were approaching the deadline of November 1st, and Joe starts contacting, just as a courtesy reminder, hey, we haven't got an application from you. We'll get into a couple more here where we say we didn't get an application from them, or we got an application late. But on these, we got application, it was all timely.
Okay.
It might have taken a reminder for some of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Drews,
Mr. Chair.
for clarifying.
Shannon, do you, on these exempt, does your office compile what that total assessment of those properties is, just so that we know how much exemption we're doing year from year, or year to year?
We don't, but we can.
No, I'm just curious, what,
We don't
What
normally, but
impact
we've done
that
it in the
had.
past.
Yeah.
Seems like you asked last year. We can do that.
okay, I was just
Can we
wondering.
make that request then? I mean, Shannon?
Yep.
Because I'd like to see that too, because I know that, especially when we talk about tax districts and that stuff, a lot of the same people that are, don't realize the amount of people that never pay any property tax. But, I mean, we have certain entities that grow, and pretty soon they got a big percentage of our community
Yep.
that doesn't pay a tax on it.
Millions and millions and millions of value
Yeah.
that doesn't pay tax or gets a reduction. This is churches and charities and benevolent organizations. What you don't see here in this process are the veterans exemptions, the elderly freeze, there's paraplegic. There are those things that are separate from this process. A lot of property is either reduced or exempt from property tax.
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
do you by chance have the numbers on those, or do you keep track of those numbers?
We don't normally, but we will. Does the board care that it be brought to a meeting, or would you like me to send you an email?
I think it'd be nice for people to know that Pennington County,
Yeah.
Bring it to a
helps
meeting,
veterans,
Shannon.
elderly, that kind of thing, because people, if you say, well, there's 20 people, no, there's 2,360, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a difference for people that were actually, people are using the process and we're helping them through that process.
So I will work on that with Joe. We'll find those numbers and bring it to a regular commission meeting.
Thank you, Shannon. I thought we always did before, but maybe we didn't.
We have in the past,
Okay,
yeah,
I thought we did.
as requested.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem. Shannon, thank you. So do we have a motion to?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. I'm going to move to uphold Department of Equalization's recommendation to requalify and continue exempt classification on the list of properties as submitted.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, Kara, is that good for you guys? I mean, are we getting that recorded through the voice? Okay, thank you. Okay, because, all right, I just want to make sure we don't want to make your job tougher, so. All right, Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, we're going to work to the next list of properties. And we split these out because these are properties that have applied for an exemption for the first time. Just so the board can see properties that haven't been exempt in the past are asking for an exemption from property taxes. Timely application, and they qualify under the statute, so the recommendation from my office is that you grant them the exemption. You'll see some of them you recognize. Black Hills Works, Black Hills Surgical Hospital. You might recognize the name, but it's a new property that hasn't been exempt in the past.
Mr. Chair, would you add those to the list too then, when you compile that list?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Ruskinen. So, any more questions, or do I entertain a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll go ahead and make a motion. I believe this is the right one. Move to uphold the Department of Equalization's recommendation to approve exempt classification on the list of properties as submitted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. Next list. Now it gets a little bit difficult, and maybe you're going to want to split some of these out here. This is a list of the properties that have applied for an exemption from property taxes that I am recommending that you deny. Nothing extraordinary here. The first three have since sold their property after they've applied, so that sort of makes sense that they don't own it and are not using it anymore, so it shouldn't be exempt for the coming year. The very bottom one there, Northwest District of the Wesleyan Church, that is a house. The church has it listed for sale. It's not being used by the church. I've tried multiple times to get a hold of the church, and I'll continue to do that just in case they want to come back. But it's not being used, and it's listed for sale. The three highlighted in the middle there, the only reason they are on this list is we don't have an application for exemption from them. They've been exempt in the past, but we didn't get anything. Joe, we never did get an application on any of these? No. So there really shouldn't be, just thinking about it now, they shouldn't be on the list because we didn't get an application.
Yeah. You can't deny something you don't have.
Yes. Yep. And I just thought of that. But they have been exempt in the past.
Here.
Commissioner Hadcock, you have the floor.
And we've tried multiple times to get a hold of them.
Okay. Commissioner Hadcock has a question.
If we can find some solution, because St. Isaac Joe's has been a church for, I don't know, back since I was a kid.
Agreed.
The Lutheran church that helps many people and is a really good church, and you already know the college that. So is there any way that we can contact or someone can go there, because I'd hate to take them off the list, because they're probably going to be back.
If we deny them right now, then they have 2 weeks to appeal. Is that correct?
They
So
can
we
come
still-
back.
They'll come back.
But I have to present it to you so you're aware of it, or at least I want you to be aware of it. We've tried contacting multiple times. We can continue to.
Is there a way, Shannon, that we could just put them on, those three on hold, approve all of them except for those three?
Well-
Because, look, Oglala Lakota College, I mean, they're definitely going to be tax exempt.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so let me clarify. They would otherwise qualify for an exemption if we had an application.
Okay, So we'll just have a formality here.
Sorry, so no
Sure.
matter what, they have to reapply.
They
every
still
year.
have to have an application in every year anyways.
So Commissioner Durr,
So
or
what-
Commissioner Drews, you have the floor, sir.
So Shannon, on the Children's Home Society, I understand that property out there by Rockerville's been sold, but
Yes.
did they put in a new application then for their other property?
NIU building.
That would have been,
That's a good question.
On the new list, right?
yes. I don't think we've seen that, Joe.
Yeah, I don't see them on that list. I don't see them on that list.
When we looked at the building, it was listed for about $10 million, so that's a pretty significant number.
The new spot? Yeah, and I'm not familiar enough with them to know if they're using it.
I'm going there for an open house tonight.
Yeah.
Gary is? So- Yeah, you know,
I may have your attention.
Mr. Chair.
yes, Commissioner
Shannon,
Rochester.
when you reach out to these colleges that we're discussing, how do you reach out to them? Just a letter? Do we go any further than that? Sometimes those letters never make it to the person that should be signing that application.
There's obviously 3 phone calls on here.
Joe, for these that you left a message for, did you write a letter or was it just phone calls?
I initially sent a letter, and then I follow up with phone calls.
And like I said, we can continue that. We still got 2 weeks left.
I'd continue the children's home too, just to make sure they're in the know.
That,
Well, they're not on
Well,
here, so
okay.
somebody's gonna have to contact them.
Gary sounds like.
the property with the Children's Home Society that's on this list here is the former property that has been sold.
Right.
So the new property, we'll have to look at that.
That's what I mean, is to maybe contact them, and we can approve the sold one today, but someone could call them and say,
About the new stuff.
hopefully you
Yep.
know that you have to renew again because you have a new property.
Yep.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I believe that the Children's Care Hospital and School, can we put this up on the screen?
Already been approved.
Do you think it might
That,
be on?
is it that building there? Click it.
That's not the new one, I don't think. It's the one right up on top of Highway 16 that used to be.
No.
NIU
Joe, that's a
College.
different property.
That says Sioux Falls.
Oh, there's,
Right, so we need the old one. What's that parcel ID for?
I'm just checking to see if the building that you're talking about is already exempt because they asked for it last year. Try it this one. 61186.
It could be. It's the old National American University building.
On top of the hill.
On 16 as well.
61186, that's it. So they applied for an exemption last year, so they're on, you just granted them the exemption on the new property because they had applied last year.
Okay. So we're covered on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joe. So how do we want to handle these 3 guys?
So what I would suggest is that you deny the Club for Boys, Behavior Management, Children's Home Society, and Northwest District Wesleyan Church. Leave the other 3 alone, and we can deal with those later.
I'd make the motion to deny on those 4 that Shannon just listed.
Rapid City Club for Boys, Behavior Management, Children's Home Society, and Northwest District of Wesleyan Church.
Second.
Have a motion and a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Shannon. You can move on to your next item.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
it's just a comment. I just want to thank Shannon for having this digital on the agenda. versus the books that we had last year. And I know, Shannon, you leaving, excuse me, this being your last one to go through. But I do appreciate the effort to get this digitized, so.
This is working good so far.
Yeah, it's awesome for us up here.
The books were an incredible amount of work and some expense for us.
And sometimes on those books, everybody wouldn't be looking at the same information. You could get lost pretty easy.
We can move a little bit quicker when I'm in charge of flipping pages. Yes.
All right, well, you have the floor, Shannon.
Okay. I give you this list of properties that would otherwise qualify for an exemption, but are late with an application. The law requires that they provide an application to my office by November 1st. So I present them to you, telling you they're late, and I have to recommend that you deny the exemption, but I bring them to you and point out that they otherwise would have qualified. The only distinction with this list is the very top one highlighted, Black Hills Area Council. That's Boy Scouts. That is a new application, a new property. All of the others have been exempt in the past.
I got a question for you, Shannon. If a owner-occupied property came forward with that same problem, how would that be handled?
We've got that coming up in a couple of appointments.
Okay.
We rarely get an appeal on owner-occupied classification because the law is pretty clear, but we do have one this year, and I'm going to recommend that you deny it.
So,
I bring these to you for what Commissioner Hadcock just pointed out, Church in Hill City. There's a lot of these that they're what the ordinary person would consider should be an exempt entity, exempt from property taxes. And I have some sympathy for some of these organizations where the old lady that was taking care of this paperwork died and somebody's stuck with the job now and doesn't know it. We've still contacted them, but as you can imagine, some of these, especially the rural churches, nobody answers the phone
You
at
sure it
9
wasn't an
o'clock on
old man
Tuesday.
instead of an old lady? Because usually the men are more forgetful than the women, Shannon. So
It's
so it might have-
possible.
It might have been someone your age, Shannon, that forgot.
Mr. Chair,
yes, Commissioner Roskinek, sir, you have the
Like,
floor.
quit harassing me.
myself, I know they're late, but I think I would support approving them. That's just
Is that a motion?
my motion would be to approve the ones that are late, and the one that's highlighted up above, how would you want to, that would not be included in the motion, would it?
Yeah, it would be.
I would suggest they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so
They
that would
they
be-
would qualify, except the application was late.
That would be my motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Shannon. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, so you just approved
them
all
all.
of the exemptions from property taxes. We're done with that. I'll get back with you on those three that were highlighted. Now we're going to get into appointments, and we'll have to figure out who's here. Nobody's here, so we got some time. The first appointment shows up at 9 o'clock, and they probably took that seriously, and will be here at 9, so we've got a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So
Does anybody want to use this time to talk to Shannon or beat him up before he leaves?
yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
Okay, perfect. Jerry, you have permission.
So, yeah.
Well, we'll miss you, Shannon, but we appreciate digitizing this, like Jerry had said, and making it life simpler as we move forward for your predecessor. He's going to be very happy that you did this, and
Yep. It's working good. One thing we have to be aware of is this is published for the public. We have to be careful that we don't put something on this that somebody doesn't want there. Just an example, the appeal I'll be coming up here is on the owner-occupied classification. the application for owner occupied was past the deadline, and he knows it, but he provided some utility bills as proof that he lives in the home. I got no argument there. I believe it's his principal residence, and that's not in question. But I don't think he would appreciate his utility bills being published for the public to see.
Gotcha, okay.
You know, and maybe he don't care. I wouldn't care, but there could be something that we got to be careful we don't publish for the
Right.
public.
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
okay, related to that, in the agenda, you have the ability to lock those, and so only the board can see that information, and
Yes.
it's not public.
Yep, and we're working on that. But with this process, we do have to be careful of that.
Right.
We could run into a commercial property that gives us, all of the commercial properties that appeal give us their income and expense information. If it's a income-producing property, well, they don't want that out on the internet for the public to see. We have to be careful with that stuff even in our office, because everything in my office is public information. You can come to my office and ask for something on somebody else's property, and I'll give it to you. It's public.
Except for their income and.
Well, we try to keep that private.
But is it public, or if someone asked for it then, or not?
Good question.
Okay.
I try to
The
keep
Tyler
it public,
question?
or try to keep it private, but if it's used in an appeal here, I think it becomes public.
Okay, that's a good Tyler question then.
Yeah, because, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have an example that we just, you and I had a meeting, with Trevor and Shannon a little over a week ago about ag exemptions. And so let's say that somebody, with their ag exemption, and we're asking for the information, and they give you their tax return
Yes.
to go ahead and you validate that they're operating, in an intent to make a profit. I don't believe that tax return is public.
We try to lose that information. We'll make a note that we received it and we saw it, so they provided us what we needed as proof, and we don't keep that on file for that reason.
All right.
But we got to be careful that stuff doesn't
That
get
is a good
published here.
Tyler question, though.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's not public information, but who knows?
Yeah, because again, work product is not public.
Yes, exactly, work product, yeah. So that's something that our appraisers are aware of, and they're trying to make sure that stuff doesn't show up, but you might still see it in one of these appeals, because it's relevant to the argument.
Is it possible, Shannon, that if there's anything on here that we could jump ahead on that doesn't require participation from anybody?
Actually, there are. We have a couple of them that are not going to show. So
Okay.
let's,
And you're in charge of flipping us to the right page, is that correct?
yes.
Awesome.
We've only got one. Let's go to 1115 at 621 Bel Air.
What's the name?
621 Bel Air.
I understand, but what's the name of the,
Okay, Bel Air LLC.
Yeah.
okay, I see what you're, yep.
Item L. Okay. L, there we go. Okay, so this property right here is not coming in, and our appraiser has a recommendation, but I've got to find her, because I don't know what that is. Joe, do you know what the recommendation is on that? And is it what we have on, do we
It
have
says
a
right
sheet?
down there, it says 247.
There we go. Yeah. So we've got our notes here.
We're recommending that the land be 57,700. The structure is 189,900. And the final total value is 247,600. This is the value that the assessment notice went out at. The City of Rapid City did not make a change to the value, and we are recommending it stays the same.
Okay.
And we've been talking to the property
Any
owner.
questions on
Property
that,
owner
guys?
chose not to come, so.
I think I'm looking at the right one. Land, 59,000.
57.7.
Jordan's kind of using me as a guinea pig today just to go off this thing right here, and it's really helped me a lot, but just to go off the monitor that we have. So.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion, move to uphold the Department of Equalization's value, land 57.7, structures 189.9 for a total of 247.6.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Any-
Okay, so that,
Any other procedural items or anything?
no, that's it. We've got, one of the other appeals is rescheduled to be another day.
Okay.
We've got another one that's not coming in. Our appraiser has a recommendation, but Joe has put that together on a list that you'll deal with later.
Okay.
So really, we just, we booked too much time here for the exempt
Oh, I mean,
properties.
this
as,
is
first-
awesome, right? I mean, I remember last year compared to this year and having, I mean, this is, this, yeah, this is, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just wait for the next person to come in, and first one that walks in
So
the
we're
door
nice
is
to
up.
him when he's leaving, huh? It's like, sorry, Shannon. I mean, can we go apologize for backwards behavior, I guess?
Yeah, you can do that.
I apologize on behalf of the commission here. We shouldn't have never been so mean to you. You probably would have stayed. Yeah, it was me. And I'm sure it was Durr. Definitely. Anybody needs to take care of any business or whatever, we're here till 9 or whatever the person comes in, so. Joan's ready? Yep. We're back from our technical break. So Shannon, Mr. Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, so the first appeal on our schedule is John Barley. I've got information up, and property owner and Jay will be here.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Jay McKinstry, DOE. This is John, the taxpayer right here. This property you guys are probably even familiar with. He's been in before. There's a kind of an ongoing issue with, you know, the neighbor's property. That, you know, there's a lot of litter and debris on that property.
Is that the one with all the junk cars and everything out front?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
and
we're
it's
working
just-
on.
It's
so.
filled with stuff. And that's kind of an ongoing thing that's in the process with planning and zoning and everything else. But I did make an adjustment for that. And in my opinion, it was a fair reduction based on actual market evidence with a 24 sale in that cul-de-sac across the street, 4761 Hamlin Court, that's smaller than the subject with a much smaller attached garage, and it sold basically right at market value in 2024. So my recommendation is new value, $59,000 on land, $255,700 on structures, for a total of $314,700.
And then, so we'll
And-
give you the floor.
So I guess I'm here because I disagree with that. I would like to see it go down to 300 even. And my reasoning is because those properties are still in the condition they were in exactly a year ago when I was at the commission meeting and brought all this to attention. And who knows how long it's gonna take. Nothing's getting cleaned up there. I guess it's in the process supposedly, but it's been in the process for a year. I got another issue with, and another reason for this is behind my house, I'm running into the same situation. I got a guy back there, he's parking cars in his backyard in the grass. He's got junk piled everywhere, yard debris. You guys claim private nuisance. I say there is no such thing because it's up to you guys to clean that stuff up. I shouldn't have to go file a lawsuit to get that guy to take care of his property. It affects 5 different properties. His property does. You can see it from the back of our house and his neighbor. And it doesn't matter to me if they complain about it or not. I'm complaining about it. It's the same situation with the 2 properties that we're fighting now. If I was to sell my house, try to sell my house, it's gonna be difficult because of the way everything is around me. So I ask that the assessment be dropped to 300 even. I'm just gonna bring this up here too. Just recently, across the street, a house sold, 4741. They had problems selling that house.
Do you remember
know-
who the realtor was on that one?
Yes, John Roberts.
Okay, yeah,
I believe
I'm
he
familiar
talked
with
to you
that one.
guys about it. He
Yeah,
said
he
he
did.
did. I had a conversation with him. So anyway, they lost money on that house. And then come to find out, the assessment was changed on that house. And at the time the guy was gonna go buy it, one of your people went in and made basically a private assessment on the property, which I don't agree with, and I didn't read the whole paragraph. As far as the condition of the house, they said was downgraded, and that was a reason for assessing the price lower. So what they did was they ended up dropping that assessment $24,000. And I guess my one question is, why weren't they in here going through this process for starters instead of doing it behind closed doors? And second of all, if that assessment was dropped $24,000, then I feel I should be right in there with that. And that house, by the way, sits next door to the nuisance properties on the other side.
And we're working on that one
If
too.
so, yeah.
Do you know how that compares to his property, that property that sold?
Yeah, it's in much worse condition than John's property. An assessor in our office made an adjustment to that, like he said, based on that. It was in much worse condition than we knew about, and that was what the adjustment was for.
Right.
So that isn't an apples to apples situation with John's property. Is a kept up property. It is next door to this property, nuisance property, whatever you want to call it. So I do agree with him that there would probably be some market effect on that, and that's what I've done.
So what is your assessment without that? If it was just a
It would have been 325,200.
325,200?
That's right, and reduced to 314,700.
Okay, so you're saying there's like a $11,000 adjustment for that? Okay.
Yeah, it's about 5% just on the structures.
Yeah.
Land, no change to land.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek.
if that building was not there, his home,
His home?
yeah, but hypothetically, if the building wasn't there, would the land still be worth $59,000?
Yeah, I believe it would. For one thing, if, there's not a lot of bare land around that area anymore, and at that number, I think that would still have a lot of people looking at it at that number.
Well, it's not when you make an adjustment for external obsolescence like you're doing, it doesn't impact the buildings that's on the property. It affects the land itself. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion, and your 24,000, my motion would be 33,800 for the land, 266,200 for the building, which would be 300,000 or 320 a square foot. That 14,000, that's all very subjective, and you'd mentioned that $24,000 adjustment, and my motion would be 25,200, so we're pretty close, but that's my motion.
What does that bring it down to, price per square foot
320 a square foot.
for the house without
But
the
I would
land?
suggest that it's the land value that's really being impacted, not the building. That's the way I've been taught to appraise real estate.
So you,
Second that for discussion.
okay. So we got a motion and a second, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, so what does that bring the total assessment to?
300,000.
Okay.
All right, that's
how
where I
much-
was getting to. And then to get to the property that's being discussed, and so it would have been in like March of last year that John came in and talked about the property next to him in that cul-de-sac is the gentleman that's got a bunch of tubs and storage tubs that are scattered throughout the lawn. We saw the picture, so that's where it's at. The property right next to that is where an individual was having campers in the yard, and the family was living in the campers. And so anyway, that's where it's at. And then you're describing the property behind you. But anyway, it's the one that's been on the nuisance list for quite a while, his neighbor next door. And that's not the one that you complained on. You complained about the people that were having, individuals live in a camper there, so.
Not paying taxes, which is why we're here,
Right.
Nor did the landowner. He hasn't paid any additional taxes either, and they've been living there all scot-free for years.
Right.
So, when we're getting down to money here, you're
Right.
losing money.
And my other comment related to the property that he's talking about that, apparently John Roberts was selling, but they had a problem. I got a call on that too, because it's a friend of our family's. That individual had deceased, and the family was trying to settle that up and sell the property, and they were talking about the same issue that you're bringing up, that they had these nuisances over there, and it was making it difficult for the family to sell the property, so.
Yeah, it was very, how many square feet is this property?
936,
How much?
936
936?
square
Well,
feet.
it's got basement as well.
Okay,
Well, I always go to the main level.
okay. I'm comfortable with the 300. I definitely know that it'd be nice to send those guys a bill for, obviously for the rest of the county and for you yourself if you.
Well, Mr. Chair, and, go ahead, Deb.
Sorry,
ahead.
so, if the properties get cleaned up, does that raise John's value,
Then we
doesn't it?
would put it back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
and that's
So
what I
if
was
that-
gonna say.
So if that
Yeah.
neighborhood, so that John, if it starts to clean up, which you'll be happy anyway, because you already know, if you take pride in your property, you're just thankful for that's why that property would go up, so that percentage might be a lot higher once that happens, but I don't know if that's happening
Well, what do
anytime
we-
soon, like
what-
you said.
What's the situation with the freeze then?
With what?
With the tax freeze, since I'm 65 now? Where do we stand on that?
Yeah, I think it's all income-based and everything like that. And you can have that conversation with Shannon. We're here to talk about your assessment. I think we got a motion to drop it to 300, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So John,
would be-
for the tax freeze, talk to Shannon or one of the people, or
Yeah.
even your assessor, he can help you with that.
Okay.
Just for
Commissioner Roscoe.
clarification, 33.8 land, 266.2 building.
Did you guys get that, Kara? Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So we just voted, right? We're all in favor, so motion carries, sir. Next time, John, can you wear an orange? Next time I had a hard time seeing you.
Thanks, John.
I figured I was coming to combat. No,
Yeah.
my question.
All right, we're ready for our next one.
We don't have a property owner here.
They're not here yet,
Pardon?
Ron.
They're not here yet? Okay. Thanks, John.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up and take a little pressure off your heart. That's very stressful living conditions when your neighbor wants to be like that.
Yep.
That's why the nuisance ordinance that Jerry's been putting forward makes most sense. when you become a nuisance, we need to become a nuisance. We're gonna call it the All right, we're back. We just take a little break there, and next time I'll try to announce that we're gonna take a break, so I just don't walk off the set, so. If you just
Yes,
give your name for the record.
Yep, I'm Christina. I work in the Equalization office. This appeal is in regard to tax ID 34439. The owners' names are Jeffrey and Dorothy Nelson. The location is 3317 West St. Cloud Street, access from 32nd Street off of Canyon Lake Drive. The mailed out assessment was for $307,100, which is $60,400 for the land and $247,100 for the structures. Their assessment went down 3.94% from last year. The owner appealed to the local board, and it was further reduced to $290,000. The main concern of the appeal is the difference in value between their assessed value in comparison to the market. We went over their property data, which appeared correct. I offered an interior inspection, which was declined. I was last at this property July last year for reappraisal. The owners were not home at the time. I documented that the house appeared in average to well-maintained condition with no updates, and I corrected the attached garage measurements by adding about 14 square feet. Mr. Nelson provided me with a CMA from his realtor, which included 10 sales. 5 out of the 10 sales occurred after November 1st, and therefore were not used in our sales model for this year. We can use these comparable sales for next year, and I did communicate this with him. I did notice some errors in the data from the CMA, such as some square footages were off on the comparable sales, some sales prices were slightly different, and the dates. I created a grid using 5 good sales from his CMA, which I'll display here. Let's see. Okay. So these are the 5 sales, comparable sales that occurred before November 1st. And then I did send him this spreadsheet so that he can easily distinguish them side by side in comparison to his property. I noticed that 2 of the sales sold for much less due to their much smaller square footage, as you will see in comparables 3 through 5. Let's see. Last Friday, Mr. Nelson brought another CMA. I think he initially included it in the email, but I couldn't open the attachment. This CMA also, this one included 5 sales. 3 sales came from the former CMA that occurred after November 1st, with an additional 2 new sales which occurred after November 1st as well. One of these sales was as recent as April this year. It would be unfair to use these sales to calculate a market value for Mr. Nelson's home only and no other property in the county. The data in the new CMA also contains some errors, such as the square footage, some sales dates and prices. I have provided comparable sales. Sales 3 and 4 are older than the subject. Sales 3 and 4 are older than his, similar quality and condition. Comparable sale 3 is slightly larger, number 4 is slightly smaller, and both have no basements like his, and they do strongly bracket our value. These sales range from between $306,000 to $379,900. In conclusion, I recommend a land value of $60,400 and $247,100 for the building, for a total assessed value of $307,100.
We'll go to Mr. Nelson. Why are you fighting this one?
Hi.
Aye.
First of all, I have never done anything like this before.
Okay.
So this is all new to me, and I've been learning as I've gone. This is my 3rd in-person meeting regarding this.
So you met
And
once with the city then?
I met with the city,
What
and
did-
then I came into the
Okay.
office the first time.
Perfect, okay.
And how this all came about, okay, was just listening to people talk and looking at the assessed value of my house being, and I don't have the exact numbers, but I paid taxes in 2025 of like $330,000, and then at the same time I go, wow, that's the values are going up. Certainly the prices are going up, and what I experienced was seeing around me was the opposite. You know, just watching the market. I have friends in the realty business, you know, just kind of watching that, and people were telling me, well, you can, you know, get an assessment and go in and plead your case.
Okay.
And so that's what I did in November of last year. Now, as far as I've never checked with anybody about, you know, when is valid sales to happen. What do I choose from? I didn't do any of that kind of research. I relied on the realtor to do the assessment, and that came, you know, last year. So that came in at the 290,000, and I'm looking at 330,000 for my value. And it was like, well, that's worth talking about. They go, but you have to wait until March till the valuations come back before you go in. Well, the valuation came back. Now it's down to whatever 307, but I was said the values aren't going to. This is when I went to the city. Those values aren't valid because they're too old, whatever. So I went and did it again. So now the value is down to 307. Got a new valuation through the same realtor, and that one came back at $280,000. Okay, so well, it's still worth talking about this. So I went back in, and I don't know what to expect or what more I can share with you. That's the process I went down. My wife and I are currently we're working towards retirement. We're going to be on a fixed income. And I also went in with the idea of, if you're over 65, you can lock in your property taxes. I go, well, I'll go get this reevaluated. We'll get my valuation tuned in, and I'll lock it in, and I'll be good for retirement. Well, of course, I didn't know what the income requirements were there, so that's out the window. So I'm just basically here. You know, she sent me these valuations that are much higher than the ones that were given to me. I didn't go data mining for any of this stuff, and I'm sure I could go out and find both higher and lower properties, but that's not what I did. I just went and got that information and presented it to you all.
With that being said, Mr. Nelson, did you go to the city?
I did.
And did they adjust it up or down?
They did.
They adjusted it which way?
They went with the higher value of 290,000.
Okay, so that's what they suggested was 290, and we're at 307. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Roskinek.
What I do, okay, so the sales that the county presented, what I do is I look at, you know, how much per square foot are you being assessed at?
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense to me, and I think it makes it easier for the other commissioners when you break it down to per square foot. So your assessed value for 2026, the recommended one, I believe that's the 3075, that would be about $205 a square foot.
Okay.
Okay, then I go, I want to see what these comparable sales are. So if I go to the sales that you used, and you look at what those are per square foot, there's nothing as low as 205 a square foot. They're 270 a square foot, 211 a square foot, $211 a square foot, $236 a square foot, $299 a square foot. So I don't see anything real alarming, just based on looking at what things are selling for per square foot, and of course, that'd be the land and the building. So, and then I see a reduction from 2025 to 2026, so right now, I'm comfortable with what the county's suggesting. That's just my input, and I just explained why.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission? Commissioner Hadcock?
Was there an appraisal done, or just the realtor told you that on your property?
Was
sir?
there a what?
Was there an appraisal done on it?
There was, I did not pay for an appraisal, no. That's what the Realtor did for an assessment
Said that they
on the
could,
2 different occasions, yeah.
the 290 and the 280.
That's right.
They did a CMA, basically what they did is they took comps but would you sell the house for, I guess that's the question I would ask, would you sell that house for $307,000?
Would I?
Yeah.
I probably would. What I'm being told is that it won't bring that,
Okay.
you know? So I don't know. I'm not a realty expert.
Right.
I'm just a guy with a house.
Well, even the ones after November, what price per square foot were they at? $205, I have to agree with.
They were
Mr.
all above, way above
Yeah, I mean,
205.
I just sold a house in this area and it went for $250 something a square foot. And that was that was a multi-level. This is one level. Basically, maybe, did you guys explain to him what you're doing when you assess a property? You're saying, this is what we assessed it for. It has to come within, basically, I think Shannon's office has been roughly about 95% of market value as an assessment. So what they're looking at is assessing your property for what they believe the market value is at that point in time of 2025. And they're saying did it come down from 2024?
No, I believe from 24 to 25 it increased, but then, and then from
25 to 26.
Right, it decreased.
It decreased.
It made a large increase going to 2025.
Yeah.
And that's what prompted all this.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
them
not
did.
here to yell at anybody or
No,
argue or ask
Mr.
for
Nelson, you're doing absolutely
anything to be done.
fine.
I'm just explaining
Yep.
how I got here.
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of people with the same frustration and confusion of how the property values in Rapid City have gone crazy, and
Right.
we get people on fixed incomes, but what their job and our job is just to assess the property at its value. I think, from my perspective, I think what she's done is probably on the lower end of what your property's actually worth. That would be in my position as an equalization, when sworn in saying I'm supposed to give it an equal value to every other property. So, but I'll look for any other comments here.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I agree with the comments made by the commission, and I'm going to make a motion.
Mr. Chair, can I just add? Mr. Nelson, if you want to come in front of us next year, there's 2 things that you can do. You can look at your neighboring property and look at what they're assessed at per square foot. So you go to their property, you look what the total assessment is, divide it by the gross building area above ground, and that's going to come up to per square foot. And you can see if you're being equally treated compared to your neighbors. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is you can look to see if there's any comparable properties currently listed for sale on the market. And there again, if they're listed for $300,000, they're a 1,500 square foot building. Take that 300,000, divide it by the 1,500, and you're going to get per square foot. And those are 2 other avenues that you might want to consider next year.
Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Durr. You had a motion?
Yeah, I'm just going to make a motion to uphold equalization's values at land at 60,400, structure at 247,100 for a total assessment of 307,500.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We're motioning and seconding to leave it the way the equalization office has brought. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. So they're going to leave it at what that is, and hopefully some of this owner-occupied tax relief that's going to shift over to the sales tax will help your plight. I wish we could wave that magic wand and help you with that. Some of us up here are getting on fixed incomes too, and we understand exactly the battle you have. So with having the to pay property taxes. We're looking here as the county to add a 0.5% sales tax to help, but it's gonna go directly towards, anything that we get for, the county gets on that 0.5 will go directly towards guys like you. It'll knock down your owner occupied property tax to help it make it more tolerable. But other than that, the state legislators are in control of all of that, so.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you,
I hope
Mr.
you
Nelson. I
understand
hope-
why I got here. The disparity in the numbers were pretty shocking to me. So that's, once I got into it, I've spent a lot of time both coming in and on the phone and researching this, and I hope I don't have to leave Rapid City. Thanks.
Yeah, we don't want you to leave either, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We have someone else here?
Not yet.
Okay. So we're gonna just snap out for a minute, take a little break.
We're gonna snap
Thank
out.
you. Gentlemen, we're snapping back into reality here. So, Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
So we're going to jump ahead to the schedule. Mark and Heidi, I'm not sure how to say this, Loglin, they're here. It's at 10:30. We're going to jump ahead. Laura from my office,
So you're gonna flip our pages for us there, Shannon?
and it's already there.
You've been very good at that,
So
so.
what numbers or letters that?
Oh, I didn't do the letters.
It's J.
J.
Okay.
Jay.
Sorry.
I didn't have it under that. I just have it under the time.
Well, if you give us her name for the record there, Miss Assessor.
Good morning, County Commissioners. How are you guys today?
Good.
Good. I'm Laura Jones with Pennington County Equalization. I come before you today with the subject property of tax ID number 43903, address of 12155 National Court in the Hill City, Rochford area. Owners for Mark and Heidi Loglin. The subject property is a newly constructed residence with construction beginning in the spring or summer of 2024 and reaching completion in late fall of 2025. This is a very good quality home featuring 2,490 square feet above grade living area, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, along with an attached single car garage that's
Tuck under.
in the basement area. The home is situated in a gated community and approximately 1.404 acres and offers exceptional views with which contributes positively to the overall market appeal. In determining the current valuation, a comparable sales analysis was conducted using the properties within the same market area. These comparables reflect a range sales that support the subject value. Comparable properties range in the sale range from approximately $639,000 to $895,000, approximately $312 to $447 per square foot. The market analysis range values from 800 to 80. The subject property values at $881,600, which is $354 per square foot, which is consistent with the values within the range. I'm going to pull up real quick here the comp sheet so you can see what I am talking about for comparables. How's that for you guys? Good? It's also important to note that several of these comparable properties are older and have inferior site characteristics or differ in quality, yet it still supports the value comparable to the comparable or exceeding to the subject. Additionally, the subject property's new construction is a very good quality rating and a desirable location with scenic views, which justifies the placement of the upper range of the market. The valuation reflects a fair and equitable assessment when compared to similar properties in the Rochford area. It aligns and supports the data. For this reason, I respectfully request that the board uphold the current assessed value of the land at $87,300, the structure at 794,300, and it is supported by the evidence with comps in the area.
Thank you. I'll go to you.
Good
folks.
morning. So we have owned this lot for 15 plus years and have been waiting to build on it. And so we built it ourselves. We general contracted. My husband general contracted it. And as per my letter, you know, it's Zillowed at $653,500. I think I pulled it up this morning. It was $646,800. Many of the comps that were provided have acreage on them. The highest one at $735,800. That's 121.
48.
Well, actually, sorry, excuse me. The 22732 South Rochford Road, that has 5.28 acres, and we're only on like one and outbuildings, and we're much lower than that at 1.04 acres. The first comp listed is in Deadwood, also has outbuildings. That was listed at 815. And then, so we provided our own comps. I believe you have that. We sent that in an attachment. Did you provide that to the board?
I sent them this is what I had.
Yeah, so our comps would be 340 Major Lake Drive, Hill City. That's very comparable at a 3-bed, 3-bath. That just sold on 12/23/25 for $639. And the comps that it was based on, those ranged from 2023. There was one in 2024 and then 2 in 2025. Most recently sold 12548 Old Hill City Road. That sold on 123/26 for $735,800, but that's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, so that has one more bedroom than our residence, and a 1.53 acre lot, and increased square footage at 2,469. And then 520 Major Lake Drive would be another comp to pull. That's a 3-bed, 2-bath, and that sold on 10/15/25 for $700. So we would submit that, you know, at the low end, $639. Also, we applied for homestead, but unfortunately we didn't get that in by November 1st because we were still waiting for the home inspection, which happened on December 18th, the windstorm day. But he did come out and gave us clearance to move in that date. So we have been in the house and homes, you know, that's our primary residence. We have no other ownership of a home. That's our home. So
I'm going to stop you for 1 second. So you applied for owner occupied?
Yes.
Did you apply for it?
we did, and we were denied because it was after the November 1st
How far
date.
after? We just approved some earlier that were after, so go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
When we applied.
They applied at just like a month or so ago, but they were living in the property as of
well,
like
December 18th.
December
it's-
18th is when they were living in the
started,
property.
you know, we were waiting for the
So
approval.
that's a whole separate issue then? Is that how that gets handled?
The owner occupied that's nothing I can, yeah.
Okay.
We
so-
were asking for that as well. And, you know, my husband also had a heart attack during this build process, and he is a veteran, but, you know, obviously he's not a disabled veteran, but he's no longer, you know, he's on disability from work right now.
So I have a question. I'm trying to find those comps that they supplied.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. You referenced a letter and some comps, and I don't have them.
I didn't have your handwritten comps. I just had the one that's.
Yeah, we were told to submit them, and we submitted them via email to you on.
Apologize, I didn't. The two that I
Way we can have
have,
somebody make us some copies.
One of them's on Major Lake, so that's one of the comps here. It's comp 4.
Yeah, we have, I have that email that
So
we,
for 639.
that we sent to you, and, because we were told to submit them via email, and so we did that.
Right.
So the comps that are on the screen, is that from the equalization office, or is that what
Yes,
she's?
that was for her, those are the ones she sent to us, and then we
Okay.
replied to her with our comps. That email,
I've got that email too, David.
I apologize, I did not
that's
put those
okay.
in. However, I will say that 2 of them are on the comp sheet.
Is that 3 and 4?
Yes.
Okay. Can I speak, Mr. Chair?
Same ones they use, so.
340 Major Lake, yeah, and 520, yep.
So let's look at number 3, and it was
You want me
sold
to go-
for 700,000? And it had,
But the
okay.
735,000 is 4
Yeah.
bedrooms.
Yeah, your property is huge. It's 2,500, roughly 2,500 on the main level, 2,500 on the basement.
It's unfinished,
Yeah. It's unfinished?
yes,
Okay, that's good to know, that I didn't know that, so,
yeah.
okay. And then the other one is 2,200 square feet with no basement, so, unfinished is a lot less than finished, so.
Mr. Chair, when you get a minute.
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek.
But I'd like to point out that we haven't discussed. The 2 on Major Lake Drive, they're located in Hill City.
Yeah.
To get to their house, you have to take the Mystic Road from Hill City, or the Deerfield Road, then the Mystic Road, and you got to go maybe 12 miles, and then you turn off on the Mickelson Trail. It's not even a road. You have to literally drive down the Mickelson Trail to go to this gated community back there. And as far as I know, how many people live back there year-round because of the access, having to drive down a bicycle trail? I mean, it's pretty darn limited, and I think we need to take that into account, which I agree that I think there should be some kind of a reduction just based on the location and the fact that that's more of a seasonal recreation. Or
Well, it's our primary residence, and the Grossenbergs live out there year-round.
But I
and-
understand,
Yeah.
but this is not Hill City. From Hill City,
Well,
it still
it's-
takes a half an hour for you to get to your home.
Right, but it's a Hill City address.
No, I understand, but you're a remote location.
Right.
You do have to drive down a bicycle trail to get to your house.
Correct.
So
Ma'am,
that's the
he's
point
trying
that
to
I-
help you is what he's doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to, yeah.
I'm not arguing, I'm just,
I'm just
it's
saying
remote.
it's not Hill City where you can just go from
Correct.
Lake
It
and be
takes
at
us
City Hall in
40
2
minutes to get to a grocery store.
Right, so I'm for a reduction just based on location.
Thank you.
I was thinking 800,000 even, that's just where I was at. That'd be $321 a square foot, and if you go over the comps 3 and 4, they're both $320 a square foot. So that would be my recommendation based on the location factor.
I'll second for discussion.
All right, we have a motion to reduce it to 800,000, and that would be leaving the land at 87.3, and the difference would be, can you figure that out for me, somebody?
87.3 for the land,
Yep.
and 712,700 for the building. That'd be a total of 800,000 or $321 a square foot.
Your house is stunning, by the way. I mean, it's
Oh, thanks.
It was a labor of love.
it's a stunning house. I don't even think it compares to the other houses, but that's my opinion. But it's beautiful, and it's huge. Any other comments? So I got a motion on the floor to change this to 800,000. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. It'll be at 800 grand.
Okay.
I mean, it's subjective. This house could
What-
sell, this house literally could sell for over $1 million. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Like Commissioner Roskinek said, it's in a little bit tougher area to reach, but it's absolutely
But it's
beautiful. and
beautiful back there.
And it's large. I mean, it's a very large house, so.
And if you really
Well, it
want to
looks
be.
big because the ceilings are high. We had to go up to get to elevation.
That all,
so
yeah, that all
it's-
costs money.
It's empty.
Yep.
Yeah.
As your husband, that's why you had a heart attack, right? Writing them checks.
It's, yeah. Yeah, and doing the decking and all
Oh,
that
you did an awesome
ourselves.
job, sir.
So,
Looks beautiful, and thank you for your service as well, sir.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Appreciate
So how many people actually live back there in the winter?
I think there's 25, oh, year-round, only about 3,
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
pretty
Be
remote.
remote.
One
yeah.
guy plows the roads and
So if you put that on the market, your pool of buyers would be pretty limited because
Very limited,
they're not
yeah.
gonna be that remote.
people want to do that.
So how do they give you access on the Mickelson? It's the only way in, is that why?
There is a Forest Service road that goes all the way back. We just have to access it maybe 60 yards,
Yeah,
so
it's a
like
short
that.
distance.
So it's not a whole,
But they've granted us access.
I think your house is awesome too. It's beautiful. I love angles in the
To
house.
say for the assessor, I mean, this is a
Very
very
nice.
difficult property to appraise.
yeah,
Is this, I mean, it's,
Pulling comps for it was not easy, but, I mean, and especially in that area, it's
Yeah.
hard to find the comps that match that, but,
you will never find comps because it's just a unique house.
yeah, it's very unique, and like y'all said, it's a beautiful location,
And a beautiful
and you're
home.
not far off. If it were to sell, it would be well over $1 million.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so Shannon, thank you,
So
folks.
what do we do about the homestead?
Shannon, what do they need to do to apply for?
They've
I mean,
already,
if they were late on the homestead, they
They-
filled out an application, they got declined, but if the commission wants to look at that, just like we did on those other properties, how do we do that?
Good question. The appeal was on the assessed value
Okay,
and not the classification.
so,
But they did not live in the home on the assessment date as required by the law.
of November 1st.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So when just for
Which you and I don't agree on that, we never will.
Just for
I think
clarification,
if you live in there, if your intent is to live in there, I think that's the spirit of the law, but that's a whole other conversation that we haven't resolved yet, but, so.
Well, that was my question. When you say live, I mean, there's people that
You look it up in a dictionary, it says if
they
it's
live in
your
it,
intention to
they
live
go
there.
someplace for 6 months, they don't live in it, but it's still classified as,
But in this case, they had never lived in it before, so.
well, what's
Lived on
live?
the land,
Sleep in it?
in a camper.
On the land.
Yeah,
I'd like to talk about this more.
while we were
We'll have that
building.
conversation again, because I think I'm right, and Shannon thinks he's right, so we're gonna get some gloves on.
Miss Laura, this isn't about you. This is about something.
All right, thank you, guys. Shannon, do we have a next person up?
Next property.
Are they here?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a good day.
Thank
Take
you.
care of yourself, sir. That's, having a heart attack is something that Ron Roskinick knows all about.
Not a heart attack, just heart replacement.
It's because he had no heart. We had to
Right.
give him one.
He had a heart?
You had a heart?
Oh, yeah, we took a picture of it.
Jeez.
We can prove it.
Yeah.
Harassment day for people.
I'm sorry.
You're
We
okay.
should be serious now again. Douglas Patriots,
Morning.
so.
Which one?
Next property owner is Dilberto Matthew? Yes. Matthew, okay. This is not an appeal on the assessed value. The property owner is appealing the classification. We're looking at item G. Here is a letter from property owner. So, property owner lives in the home. He applied for an owner-occupied classification. We got that application March 26th. The law says that you have to apply by the 15th of March. It was a late application. He appealed anyways.
So we got a motion on the commission here? He got this 10 days late.
Yeah, I'm good.
So, is a motion, somebody make a motion? You want to approve it, or?
Yeah, I want to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve it.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve their application for being 10 days late. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. We're going to reconsider it. So Shannon's doing what he's supposed to do by law, so, and you're appealing it to overturn it, and because Ross Connect has a heart now, he's
Yep.
voting yes for it.
Jesus.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you
Have a
very,
good
very
day.
much. We appreciate it.
Go Douglas Patriots.
Yeah, go Douglas Patriots.
Got a lot going on out there in that area.
We do, yes, we do. A lot of changes, great changes too. Awesome, thank you very much.
You bet. Have a great day.
You too.
Do we have someone else up, Shannon? Or,
Nobody else here yet.
so we're gonna.
What's the next one?
We're gonna check out here for a minute, and.
What's the next one?
Oh,
Next one we'll be looking at is, not sure how you say it, Ketchikan.
That sounds right.
Alaska.
It's not spelled like Alaska.
All right.
H. We'll be looking at H,
We'll be looking at H, so when we come back from our,
unless somebody else comes in.
we're going to check out here on a technical break.
And we're still ahead. We're looking 10 o'clock, so.
You know, I just can't thank everybody enough for this procedure, how smooth it's been going and with diligent. So we're checking out right now. Thank you.
I'm back.
We're
Sorry.
ready to roll. So you have the floor.
Hi, it's me again.
Yes. Hello.
You'll see me 2 more times today.
Okay.
Good morning again, Board. Laura Jones with Pennington County Equalization. This is for both items H and I. They're the same owner, one under a personal name and then one under an LLC. So these properties are located on West Highway 44. In the corridor that, let's see here, I'm out of my spot here. The first one, tax ID 67134, is 16.29 acres. It's sold in 2019 to the current owners for $360,000, which is roughly $22,100 per acre. Currently assessed at $452,500, which is $27,778 per acre. The second one, tax ID number 67135, is 11.15 acres, sold in 2021.
Mr. Chair, we should do those separately.
Yeah, we're going to do them separately.
Laura, let's
Do
talk
them
about one
separate.
at a time.
Okay.
For the minutes, they gotta be.
I apologize.
one
Okay.
parcel at a time.
Okay, I
No problem.
apologize. All right, so back it up here, 67134.
Okay.
That one is 16.29 acres, sold in 2019 for $360,000. Currently, and for the acreage of 22,100 per acre. It's-
I got a question. So if it sold in 2019 for 360,000, but the assessment was 292,000 in 2025, how does that work?
Well, so if you look at the comparable sheet, let me just pull up the comparable for that
Were
one.
they overpaid in 2019 or according, or did we, this one that we hadn't assessed for a while?
Well, so prior to 2025, the market experienced limited sales for 5 acres or more. While there was a few transactions that occurred, the volume was not significant enough to raise the land value in that area. That all changed in 2025. It was a huge shift. There was noticeable increase in sales activities, particularly among larger parcels, because that's kind of all that's available out there now is the larger parcels. Let me just show you the comparable sheet here. You can kind of see the only way I could do this, because there's not a comparable sheet on our Canvas system, so I had to do it this way.
Okay.
But you can see where in the Nemo area and in the Highway 44 area, there's been sales, but they're all of larger value and larger lot sizes. There's also been smaller lot sizes as well that have sold for significantly a lot more than what the larger ones are selling for, obviously. Let's see here.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
so on the sales that you're using, are they all zoned the same?
Yes,
And what would the zoning be?
they're just zoned residential.
Okay.
But if you go through some, can you pull it down, like you got 40 acres at 25,
Want me to go back
9,
up?
25, 329. Then there's one for 9 acres, that's 42, 215. Does that have are there differences like wells or anything like that, access, anything like that are differences?
Not a lot. A lot of them are off of all these roads, so like, honestly, I didn't check for well situations on them.
Okay. Some of these are bizarre, like, because it goes anywhere from 25,000 to 40,000 on some of these
Yeah.
10 and 40 acre
That's,
lots.
again, that's where the market has been
Yeah.
for selling on these lots. And that's where the increase came in on their property. We understand it was a significant increase, but at the same time, that's what the land sales are saying.
I'm still wrapped around the fact that if you pay for something, that's really kind of the market value. In 2019, they paid $360,000, is that correct? You paid $360,000? Yeah, and now, but it was assessed way low than according to what you paid for it. I mean, unless maybe you just overpaid for it at that time, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's right next to where we live, so we wanted to make sure no one would build there.
Okay.
The other thing is, I think at that time, the other lot next to it was owned by somebody else. And so to get to the lot that you're talking about, there had to be easements and all of this stuff approved. And so.
But you didn't need an easement because it was located next to you, okay.
So this is the aerial of that, where you can kind of see, this one is right next to their house is right here. This is their property that they own with the house. The 64, or 67134 is this lot here right next to it. And there is access right off here off of 44. And then the next lot, the next one we'll be talking about is this lot.
And that's their lot too, so.
Correct.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, Commissioner Roskinek, sir.
could you put rapid map up, Don? I just want to go back. You know, I did take an oath on April the 7th that I would endeavor to equalize the assessment of all property within the county. So this is where I'm going with this. So if you could put rapid map up and show the subject property that we're talking about, and I believe that's, I think the 2026 assessment would be 2,700 and change.
The 26 current assessment
For 2026.
is, we have it at 452,500 for the current assessment.
Can you do that per acre?
I did have that broken out.
27 something.
Yeah,
I believe.
27,780.
Okay, what's and that's on residential. Can you go to the lot next to it, just see what that's assessed at per acre? To the left?
And then that's the home they're in, right?
I just want to see what it's assessed at per acre. Just, I'm talking about equity, equality.
Yep.
So
You want the one with their house on it, or the one?
I just want the land assessment per acre on the lot to the left.
That one?
Correct.
Okay.
Should be about 34,000, I think, per acre.
The land's assessed at 391,400. Is that correct? That's correct. Now, how many acres is it? So divide by,
Right.
yeah.
So it'd be
Wow.
34,000 an acre.
Okay. And then if you go to the other property that you're going to be bringing up,
That one?
that should be around 38,000 an acre, I believe.
Right, and our assessment right now, Don, the one where it has 11, the one in the middle,
Yep. How much, this is a 11 acre lot and it's, what is it? Assessed at?
386.8.
Okay. So, and that's about the same then? Those two are about the same?
yeah, that one's an 11 acre lot,
One
the
in the
one in the
middle is
center
off.
is a 16
What
acre.
I'm trying to do is, and I think we can all assume that commercial land is worth more per acre than residential. So now could I ask you to drop down to Bighorn Storage on the other side of 385? And what's that assessed at per acre, which probably has over 200 storage units on it in zone commercial? I just want to know what that's zone per acre.
21 acres and it's 43.
Looks like about 40,000. Just doing a quick calculation, but I don't know.
I get 20.
20, let's see,
Oh, 20,000?
20,000 even.
How does that happen?
Well, that's what I'm saying is, if I'm going to sit there and follow that oath that I took to endeavor to equalize the assessed value, I can't sit there today in good faith, ask this lady to pay more than 20,000 an acre. And that's my premise.
So part of what I had on my comp sheets, though, is if they were, I understand they don't want to subdivide, but if they were to break them down into smaller parcels, those are selling for quite a bit more.
I totally understand, and those are a lot of, those are just assumptions. I mean, today we're looking at a lot, the same size, the same access, the same location. The only difference is one's zoned commercial, and we all agreed that commercial land is worth more on a per unit value, and it's 20,000 an acre. So I'm not going to ask these, on these two that are coming up, I'm not going to go more than 20,000 an acre. That's just me.
So less than what
And
they
that's
paid
because
for.
I took an oath.
So Chair,
Yep, Commissioner Hadcock.
so the surrounding area, is that any different than just this lot across the street? So we did one property and said it was commercial across the street. How about the surrounding area that's either north, south, or even right next to the storage areas that's residential and blank lots?
Yeah, majority is residential.
And they're all, so the only one that's lower is that one commercial lot at 20,000. The rest, to equalize, is actually the same as the subject property.
Correct.
So what we need to ask is why it's 20,000 and why the commercial isn't higher.
And that's a question for the commercial
Did you
team.
assess this one?
No, I did not. That's a commercial
That might
property.
be one of the reasons.
Yeah, because you start lowering one, then you better lower all. So you also took an oath to keep everything equalized, so you're gonna drop, unless we're gonna drop everybody around there, because we did that one year and caused a big, huge rift in an area by lowering one and then having to come back to those people because one was lowered and the rest were like 10,000 more, so.
We're gonna bring Shannon in here. Shannon, can you explain what's going on here? Because that looks to us like a huge disparity.
I'm not familiar with the numbers out here, so I can't address that. I would suggest that it has to do with the size, economy of scale. The size will make a difference on the per acre value. They're not valued per acre.
Hers is 16 and that one's 20, so there's a difference like
No,
4
one's-
acres.
The difference in the acreage,
Now, the other one's
yes.
commercial, which looks to me, judging from here, that one's way undervalued, that commercial
So
property.
that is what I wanted to address.
Okay, go ahead.
There is a statute that, in the duties of the Board of Equalization, that if a board finds a property that is assessed less than others, that the board is to increase that one to make it equal, as opposed to lowering the value of another.
Okay, so so now we would be duty bound, we don't, maybe this is a Tyler question, that we raise that Bighorn property to a
If you
value that
choose-
makes sense?
If you choose to change something, it would be to increase that, and then we would have to notify the property owner and he could come back in.
Okay, so, and we'll have to check with Tyler on to make sure we're good with that one, so.
Mr. Chair, I just want to point out, we got an inequity. How we fix it, that's up to us, but.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I think what he's saying is if we come across this, which that's a huge inequity, then now we got to address that. And I think that'll be a Tyler question to give us direction on how to handle that.
I can find that statute.
If you find the statute, but I want to have it interpreted by Tyler, so.
And Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Derser.
Yeah, my comment is, I mean, if we find an outlier that, is sitting out there, I don't think we run to the outlier. We look at everything else that we already have. And I don't know why we would drop it down to 20,000 an acre when in 2019 it sold for 22,100 an acre.
Right, and I think that's the point we're getting to, but we need to address the other one now that we're aware of it. So we'll probably have to raise that, fellows, to, I mean, if it's commercial property, it's probably worth,
No values.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair,
yes.
I'm looking in here, I don't see from the property owner, what do you believe it should be assessed at?
Yeah, that's our next question here.
Yeah,
so.
sure, thank you. So what we were provided with comps, High Sega, Nameless Cave, Old Hill City Road.
I'm sorry, could you give us the addresses and we'll look them up and look at them at the same?
Do you want the tax ID?
Yeah.
Whatever's easier for Joe over here.
They should be on, let me pull up the
Yeah,
comp
I
sheet.
mean, they're
here again.
roughly 25,000 an acre,
Okay.
not 27, or 40 for that matter.
Here's here's the comp sheet that I sent her, or sent them. There we go.
So Chair,
I want to see the
I'd
comps
like
that
to
she
see
has.
the, I'd
Hold on
like
a
to,
second, Commissioner Hadcock.
well, I'd like to see the surrounding area. I'd like to see across the street in the surrounding area.
They just showed you
those-
across the street.
Well, they
That's the-
showed you one, but is there any properties across the street or surrounding area? Like we said, equalizing, some of that is what's around it. So what else is across the street besides the storage units and any residential in that area or bare land that's close to that's, I'll tell you from before, that's where we came into issues is people that were around with the same accesses or the same, basically issues, dropping one. We found one that needs to be changed, I get it, but I'd like to see the surrounding area and see what those parcels are, because that's going to tell later either what that's going to sell for or what those, if they decide to plat it or rezone it or do anything else, because their land as residential is 27, so is there residential land around it?
is this one right
And
here then?
where-
Mr.
Ron,
Chair.
let me finish. So then, please, so then, how about the other land that's by it or around it with the same accesses and the same issues?
Okay, we're showing you one right now.
Thank you, sir.
There's one right across the street next to the storage units, 25 acres, assessed for $22,000 an acre.
Okay.
The one that's.
So here's another one right here. Where's this one? How much is this per
Laura,
acre?
do you have
The one
something?
that's highlighted right now is at 25,000 an acre.
Okay. And then, let's go back to the one that Commissioner Rosknecht was talking about, for 22 an acre.
That's ID number 46098,
And this one's right across the street next to the,
storage units.
okay.
46098.
So what's the difference, Ms. Laura, that you can see on that property at the 22,000?
This one is quite a bit bigger, so on just about, it's probably 80% bigger, so.
And what's the topography and stuff? That makes a huge difference between the properties as well.
That one that's
selling.
currently highlighted is at 22,080 a square foot,
22,000.
or an acre, I apologize.
Okay. Okay.
So what makes theirs more valuable across the street for 34? Is it more land or what,
I was
Ms. Laura?
strictly going off of the land sales that have happened with those amounts, with that size of acreage in the Nemo and Rimrock area that have sold in the last year. That's where my numbers are coming from, are the sales that have actually happened.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Laura.
How much of an adjustment do you think, percentage-wise, is there for like a 16-acre property versus a 25-acre property? I mean, obviously, the bigger you get, the cheaper the property's going to be.
Right, I mean, and right now, 16 to 25 isn't that much of a difference, and you can even see that in the sales where they're not, difference-wise, it's not changing that much. I mean, there was a 40-acre parcel off of Nemo that's sold for 25, almost 26,000 an acre. So it really just kind of depends, like, again, on location and where it's at, and size. But even at the 40 acres and, on down, you're not.
Well, the access, utility, all that stuff makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and access, and this particular property is right off of 44, corner of 44 and Cavern Road, which is a desired location. It's not far, it's just a few miles outside Rapid City. So,
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Yeah,
go ahead.
and I don't know if you've already ran the numbers, I'm just looking, and I think based on the comparables that you have, and if you were divided up all of the sales here by acre, what I'm coming up with is just shy of, it's about $31,900 per acre on all of these comparables.
Say that again, 31,000?
31,930.
Which is still, and I just want to point this out, that's still more than what we have it valued at. We currently have it valued at $27,778 per acre.
And to you, ma'am, I think you'd made a comment, you'd made a comment at about 25,000 for comparable sales, and some you were looking at.
That's what we received. It all was 25, 25.9, 25.3, 25.9.
Which are, they're on there, but again, I'm gonna reiterate that they paid 22 for it back in 19 for this
Mr.
particular
Chair.
one.
Yes, Commissioner.
And I appreciate Jerry adding those sales up. But there again, when you talk about location, a lot of those, I see they're Hill City, Nemo Road. And, you know, when you appraise real estate, the first thing you do is you focus on location. What are you going to compare your subject to? You don't go to other areas, you focus on that area.
We're looking at the lot sizes. And there's
But-
not a lot, there's not lots that are this size within the Rapid City, like as close as this one is to Rapid City.
But when you get the lot sizes, I can go to the Deerfield Lake and find similar sized lots. So there again, you got to focus on location.
So Chair, based on location, based on what I've heard, even the 26, because most of those were 31.9, they've got one at 34, another at 34, and then 27, if I'm correct. I think it's fair to say at least 26 or 27 on those lots.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Durr.
yeah, I'm going to make a motion. We have it at 25 or 27. You mentioned 25. I'm looking at making it 26,000 per acre for a total of 423,540. I believe
My
that's
second.
correct.
Second that motion.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
You gotta round up 100, it's gotta be an even 100 at the end.
Okay,
You say,
so we'll change it to
yeah,
423.5.
Sorry.
What was the amount again?
423.5? Is the motion maker okay with that?
Let me just a second.
The total assessed value has to round to 100 because that's what our.
All right, I'm going to say 423,500.
Okay. I'll second that still.
Okay, so a motion and a second for 423.5. Kara, are you okay with that?
And that's about 26,000 an acre.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries 423. Then we move on, she has another one that's right next to it. So I'm-
Correct. And I can,
I'm assuming that motion would probably be similar?
and I use the same comparables for this one. The aerial on this one is, so it didn't pull up very well, I apologize. But it's the road is right here. I apologize, it didn't go in very well. But it's the property right next door to it, and that's 11.15 acres.
Okay.
And we currently have it assessed at 386,800, which is 34,691 per acre.
Any
They
questions from
purchased
the?
it in 2021 for 285,000, which was 25,560 per acre.
So right now it's at 25.56.
No, they bought it in 2021 for 25,560 per acre for a total amount of 285,000. We currently have it assessed at 386,800 for, which would bring it into 34,691 per acre.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Ross.
I'll go ahead and make a motion, and my motion would reflect what we did to the property next door. That was 26 an acre, which this is a smaller lot, so my motion would be 27.5 an acre, 306,600.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Does everybody understand that?
Can you say that number again for me, please?
306,600. That's 27,500 an acre.
An acre.
All right, everybody understand that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you.
Do you have another man out here?
Okay, now, Shannon, will you make
Could it-
sure we follow up with Tyler on those undervalued
Could it be a woman
properties?
out here?
No,
What-
there's
what
only
would you
two
like?
that.
On the undervalued on the storage unit,
Yeah.
and the other one right next to it, that are both undervalued.
What would you like me to do?
Just ask Tyler if you can check your statute and ask how we should proceed with that, now that
Okay.
we've identified it.
Okay.
Undervalued property. So I want to make sure we're living up to our oath.
Okay.
the best we can.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. And let him know that it was Commissioner Roskinek that found
No.
that.
Jerry brought it to my attention.
All right, you two can figure that out later, so. All right, Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Next property owner is here, Anthony Scrizzi, I think is how you say it. This is-
Anthony, if you're here.
This is K.
Okay, come
And
on, come forward and we'll.
Trevor?
We'll let Trevor go, and then we'll ask you questions to follow up. So, Trevor, go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. Trevor Abernathy, Commercial Appraiser with Equalization Office. Again, we're discussing the agenda item 7K, tax ID 63011, owned by Anthony Scrizzi. And in 2025, our office conducted a reappraisal of commercial properties in the eastern rural communities. This included New Underwood, Wasta, Wall, Quinn, Scenic, and Computa. Analysis of the recent sales indicated that properties in this area, including the subject, had some undervalued land. The record for this property included a note referencing a 5,000-gallon underground tank that needed to be removed, and there was an associated downward adjustment to the land value. The cost to remove the tank of this size is approximately $12,600 based on our costing manual. I contacted the city of New Underwood, which was the prior owner before 2007, and was informed that the state had been involved and that all tanks had been properly removed. So any adjustment related to that tank has been removed for the 2026 valuation. The property was last sold in 2007 for $25,500. It was in poor condition at that time, including significant damage to the roof structure of the shop building. Following the sale, repairs were made to restore utility, including roof repairs. While the structure still exhibits deferred maintenance, it is currently usable and actively supporting a business. So
there's a business in this property?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What is the
So
business?
here's the photos of it here.
Oh,
Scooter shop, is that correct?
Yeah, I repair small engines and a lot of the Chinese scooters and ATVs that are around today that nobody wants to work on.
oh, electric ones or just?
Electric ones, gas ones, whatever happens to be there.
So the building is presently valued with 80% depreciation applied, resulting in a value of $11.01 per square foot for the 1,290 square foot structure, or approximately $14,200. When we look at sales value, or land value from the sales, we've got these indicated sales here. So we have a bare land piece that sold over here for $4.10 a square foot. Bare land sale down here that was $5.74 a square foot. And then we have a couple abstracted land values. This one here, the tax ID 57594, is a mobile home court. And once I remove, no mobile homes sold with this sale. Once I remove the value for the hookups that exist, it's indicating a value of $1.96 per square foot for 2.16 acres. The subject property is 0.38 acres. And if we look at the smaller parcels indicating a $4 to $5 per square foot indicated value from the sales, larger acreages at $1.96 per square foot, we've got the subject at $2.50 a square foot on the land. So my recommendation on this is to reinstate the original 2026 assessment, because this was taken to the local board. They put it back at the pre-reappraised value of $14,000 on the land. I'm recommending to reinstate to $41,400 on the land, $14,200 on the structures, for a total of $55,600.
Why do you find yourself here today? Where do you think?
All these other lots are level and buildable.
Pardon?
All the other lots that he's referring to are level and buildable.
Okay.
My lot, you don't have a picture of it here. It doesn't go north far enough. It's about a 45 to 60 degree angle right behind the building that covers the rest of the 2/3 of the lot, which is not buildable.
What are you saying? You mean it slopes off?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can't walk up the hill, it's steep, that steep.
Okay.
So the city won't let me dig it out to level it. And the only comparable directly to this is the property across the street, which is another old gas station like mine, that does have a level lot. So they actually have equipment stored in
What's
back
that
there.
one assessed at?
Don, if you could pull that up on,
Is that
It's
McGass?
to the west, next building over.
so I have that one, as far as I can tell on my sheet here, I have that one at $2.70 a square foot. But we'd have to verify that here.
And what are we doing to land on this one at? 41?
Yes, 41.4. But it's a .38 acre lot, and this one's a .26.
His is a .26. This other one's a .26. How
The
much
one
is
next
buildable,
door is
Trevor?
.26.
Do you agree with him that a big percentage of this is not buildable? I mean,
There is a slope in the back, but the property is built on, and according to what I saw behind the building here, we don't have it up on the screen, but I mean, there's still more room behind that building from what I can see.
Oh, there's lots of room behind the building, but you can't use it. If you do a satellite view of it, you'll be able to see it quite clearly.
So I did confirm that is at $2.70 a square foot on the corner there.
That shaded area, just north of the building, is the slope. And you can't walk up it, it's so steep. So there's not enough room on that flat area on top, north. And I can't dig it out to level it to
orange
make the
one is
land
yours?
useful.
The one that's put in orange there?
And if I may, Don, if you could put on the 20-foot Penco elevation, we could kind of get a better idea of what we're dealing with there.
You got stuff in the back there, sitting there, cars and stuff.
Well, so that one you're looking at that's highlighted there is the property next door. That's the property to the west.
Yours is the one actually to the east there?
So Trevor, do you have the land at 14.2 at that property and 30,006 for?
No, he has it as the opposite of that.
The 14.2 is what the city lowered it to.
Talking about the property across the street that you have at 30,600.
Oh, 30,600 for the land? Yes. That's $2.70 a square foot for the land.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek.
Anthony, if somebody else owned that property, what could you afford to pay a month? I'm just curious.
I'm barely affording it now. It's almost doubled since I bought it in 2007. I make about $9,000 a year, so I'm working poor. With this new 160% increase in value, it's going to cost me about $1,100 more per year. I can't afford it. So I'll be out of business by September. So I'll have to empty it out and put it up for sale. I can't keep it.
If that lot, and I think your lot is .38 acres, if the rest of that lot was usable, what would it be used for?
I wouldn't complain if I could use the whole lot.
But so you're saying that your current lot isn't large enough to support the business that you do?
No, I'm saying I can't use the lot. I'd like to have storage back there or expand the building to make it a little bigger. It is pretty small. But I can't do anything with it. I can't make the building bigger. I can't put anything in back there, a pole barn or anything. It's just useless land. It's on two lots. The building is mostly on the front lot, which is smaller. And about 2/3 of the lot is that whole entire rear area. Property line kind of splits the building in half almost. So I can't sell the lot separately, but I can't keep it either.
Chair. Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Durr.
Trevor, I know like last year, a wall was one that came up on residential, but I think it had been about 8 years since we had done an appraisal in the wall area. So how many years has it been since you've gone out and hit these commercials in this area?
For the commercials in this area, it's been a little bit. It was due that 8 to 10 year range. So we were a little bit behind on this one.
All right.
So Chair, I'm going to suggest something. Just
Commissioner
because of
Hadcock.
that high percentage, 30,006 on the land and structure still at 14.2 at 44.8.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other
Just trying to
comments?
understand, if we do that, what the methodology is.
Well, based on the land, based on the usable land that he's saying he can't use.
But we have to break,
With the structure, the land would be a lot different price than
Make it more
structure
equitable to the
still.
one across the street.
Yes.
so what's that per square foot then on the land?
Well, the problem, yeah, you'll definitely reduce the square footage because there's only so much of it's usable.
Buildable.
So it would drop the square footage on the land, but how do you calculate that when you can only use 1/3 of it?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I dropped
Would you do that, Ron?
the land and down to what's across the street, to be
Sense?
fair.
Well, what I would do is, you think 250 a square foot is what you have, right?
Correct.
So if you got .38 times 4,3,560, you got 16,552. And let's just say 33% of that's usable, so we take that times 33%. And then we take that number, which is 5,462, and then we take that times $2.50. That's one way to do it.
What number is that?
That's 13,655.
13,655.
One of my problems is just the huge jump.
That'd be for the
That's-
land?
If you take this,
Talking the land.
if you take the
because
size of the
usable.
land and take that times 33%, and you take that times $2.50 a square foot,
Okay.
that would be the usable land. It's 13,655.
Then the building's 14,240?
Right.
So you add those two
So
together.
Trevor, what is the usable land that his property's already on, that he uses? That's what I'd like to know.
Can you put up
Did you-
on the screen that satellite view again?
Yeah, we could do the satellite view.
And,
Trevor, excuse me.
go ahead.
Did you get your elevation you were looking for?
Yeah, the elevation is right there. I mean, it goes from the front, I believe that's 2860. And then in the far back corner is 2870. So it's a 10-foot, per the elevation there, it's a 10-foot difference from the front of the lot to the back.
That's what I'm saying. You want to use the usable land, and it looks like about the usable land is about like across the street. And the part that he's not using, and says he can't build on, that's why I went to the 30,006. Because if you look at the parcel where he's at, again, it looks about like that much of usable land that he is using. So just to be fair to
So
what's
actually,
happening across the
using
street.
Ron's calculation, it'd be 2/3 of it's usable, 1/3's not usable. Ron, does that make more sense?
Yeah, well, let me do that.
So I gotta ask you, you're in
Opposite.
green today, your hair's green and you're coached green, is it like?
It was a COVID thing. I was volunteering at the hospital, and of course, elves and Santa's already there. There was never a Grinch.
Okay. So you're a Grinch today?
And, well, after
ask.
2019, it just stayed green, and, well, it's my favorite
Good
color,
conversation piece or whatever? Yeah.
So if we assume 66% of the land's usable and go with Trevor's $2.50 a square foot, that's 27,300 for the land.
Okay. And then we add the building.
And then we add the building.
Is everybody good with those calculations? Commissioner Durr?
Yeah, what's the difference in the original motion?
About how much?
So is that a substitute motion? What's your total, Ron, 27 what?
And you have to round it off to 100.
Okay, land would be 27,300.
So you'd be 41.2.
The building is 14.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, so that was.
Amend it.
Yeah,
Why don't
Just amend it.
You want to
amend your original motion and I'll second the change.
Okay, to the 41-2. 27 on the land and the structures 42 for 41-2 total.
Kara, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Second.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Trevor.
Mr. Chair, just,
Trevor, don't be a Grinch.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry. Who's, yep, Joe, is that you?
Yeah, I just want to confirm,
Have my numbers.
the land is 27,000?
well, I come up with 27.3, but
27.
27,000.
Well,
Call it
the motion
27.
was- Yes, sir.
And the building is 14,200
Yes,
for a total of 41,200.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So, thank you, Mr. Grinch. Who's next?
11:30.
Okay. Till 11:30?
Is this, there's a, there's a,
Joan, we're going to do a technical checkout here.
Shannon, you have a man in the audience. Is he one of those?
Okay, we're ready. So we're okay, what did he?
He's going to get back to us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Shannon. So, Shannon, we're ready to roll. So with the two people that came in early. So Paul Weber is right up front, and then Brian Sikora.
Score is actually up on schedule first, so.
Okay, so we'll do that then. We could let him arm wrestle if we wanted, but. Okay, so we're going, Mr. Sikora, what we're challenged to do here is assess every property equally. We have nothing to do with the property tax you get charged. So what we look at is your property equally assessed to the surrounding properties and, or like-kind properties? And so we'll start with the assessor, and he'll give his view of why he thinks his appraisal is correct, and then you can give your view of why you think it should be different. So go ahead.
All right.
Give us your name for the record.
Yeah, Jay McKinstry.
Jay, is your, I don't know if your microphone's on. Maybe you're too far from it.
Jay McKinstry.
We're on.
It's
Brian
green up
Sikora.
here.
okay. Yeah.
It is now.
Okay. How's that?
You just got to get closer to it.
All right. Okay.
Shannon knows how to use that microphone.
Yeah, all right. I'm too old to lean over.
Okay, perfect.
So this property, tax ID 72924, is located at 3315 Hendricks Lane, which is in Auburn Hills. Brian had come in early on in the process, even before appeals, and had some concerns. So myself and Chris Mooney from our office did a interior, exterior review of the property in February. The majority of the issues at the time of purchase with the foundation and some of the negative drainage in the backyard and that kind of stuff, a lot of that was addressed by the owner, and repairs were made after the sale. The property does still suffer from some ongoing settling, and we did witness some heaved floors in the basement. And at this time, he's not going to do any further work, so there was a reduction put on for some of those issues that are still in place. And this property is currently fully rented to a family, month-to-month renters. And my recommendation to the local board was reduction from $444,400 to $375,400, and the local board lowered that to $375 even. and I am recommending leaving the value at that. So 56,600 for land, 318,400 on structures for a total of 375.
All right, so Mr. Sikora, I'm your neighbor, by the way.
Oh.
I met you I'm on Santana Court.
So be careful if he lives by you.
What's that?
What? Yeah, I don't live by him. It's
I'm teasing you.
neighbor to that house, so.
Were you the one that stopped by?
Yeah, I stopped by
okay.
and talked to you a little bit. So anyway, but go ahead and explain what you're thinking here.
Well, we've got that handout that went to Dell's Construction. What the cost was to repair the house and put it back the way it was before all the heaving or settling took place. And that, I don't know if you've got that paper in front of you.
No.
That was one that the city had. We've got it here, and it come out to $503,000 and 48 cents or whatever, 80 cents, 503.48. So basically the house was, they totaled the house out. And then I bought it from the insurance company with whatever value it had. So we jackhammered out a third of the basement floor that was cracked up pretty bad, and that's where they did a drill study. And we re-poured the floor, and we put 1/2-inch rebar in there, and the floor cracked again. So that was pretty unnerving. And then the rest of the time, we just repainted the house, patched the cracks in the walls and the ceilings, and that's kind of where it sits at now.
Okay. So did you guys witness the new floor cracks?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about, the heaving?
what we witnessed was in an unfinished portion of the basement, a small room in the back, and it had what I would call a hairline crack in it. It is still probably moving around a little bit, but the repairs he's made since then, have it at a property that's at full use. It's being rented right now at over $2,000 a month.
So if you did a cap rate on that, what would it come out to for the property value?
I mean, depending, we don't run those a lot on residential
But
properties.
it's part of the
but
process, right? I mean, it's an option.
It's an option.
It is, but, in general, we are always going to be, unless it's triplex or bigger, we're normally going to be using the market sales or a cost approach on a residential, single-family
What
residential.
would it be if it was run on as a cap rate of $2,000 a month?
I mean, I'm sure it would be in the area of.
Can we calculate it real quick?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
When you do your cap rate, you got to use net income, that's gross income. You still have expenses that he's got to take off of
They
that.
do the gross, they don't use the net.
You got to use the net when you do a cap rate.
They don't.
Yeah, and I don't have that information.
You guys-
We didn't
Shannon?
run that.
This is one of the questions I had about it too, because they don't use the net, you guys use a gross. Like, so if he's getting $2,000 a month, can you figure the cap rate on that? For what that property would be worth at $2,000 a month?
No, I don't know what a cap rate would be on a residential property.
Well, it's a rental.
Yeah.
It's not a residential. Do you know, Trevor? One of you guys know because you explained it to me. Trevor, want to come up forward here? Because basically you got a house that's like got some dysfunction to it. If it's highest and best used is a rental property, that's the way it should be taxed, right? That's what I'm thinking.
So typically, if you're looking at doing an income approach on a residential property, you'd use a gross rent multiplier.
Okay,
And-
that's what would that be?
multiply that by your $2,000 a month. But I personally don't have a gross rent multiplier for this neighborhood. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Well, if you know what the rent is, though.
What's it for a different neighborhood?
We don't collect gross rent
Right.
multiplier or cap rates on residential properties. We don't have enough information to create an income approach model that would be reliable. The income
I agree.
approach
Yeah.
is typically not appropriate for a typical residential property.
But if you can't sell it, if it's dysfunction, if it's got an obsolescence in it, you can't really sell it as a,
The cost approach addresses those issues. That cost approach to value is the best approach to value in a situation like this.
but if it's got an obsolescence that you can't fix.
And then that's the cost approach. Yeah.
That obsolescence is, the cost approach estimates the cost to build the home, less depreciation or obsolescence, plus the value of the land.
Okay.
That's the theory behind the cost
Okay.
approach to value. So in a property that has a problem like that, the cost approach is a good indication of value.
So when you, Mr. Chair, when you do the cost approach, you got physical depreciation, curable and uncurable. Obviously, this could be curable, but the question is, what's the dollar amount?
Right.
But
Yeah, because part of it was cured and part of it wasn't. That's, you know.
The sheetrock was cured so far. The
But
cement.
the foundation's the biggest problem, right? You're
Yeah.
saying you you knocked the floor out and then put a new foundation in and that heaved again?
No, we
You didn't put the
knocked the floor out.
Okay.
Repoured the floor.
You didn't do anything with the foundation?
No.
Okay, so that's the biggest percentage of what that, without a foundation, that property's basically worthless.
It is. We didn't touch the foundation. I thought that the house had settled or moved wherever it was going to settle at. You know, it'd been about 10 years that the house had been sitting there. And I was just totally shocked at the concrete. The concrete in the basement cracked. It just,
Okay.
so I don't know what's
one
going
more
on.
Commissioner Ross.
There's a document that you mentioned that the city had, but we don't.
Oh, right.
What was that document? I'd like to see that.
Is there some,
Well, there's some photographs of the work that I did and the shape of the foundations. And the city prepared one of those for everybody on the board. That's the total cost of Dell's construction to put the house back to normal.
so what are they saying, jack it up and redo the foundation?
They had jack it up and.
Oh, you're saying that number, 503?
Cost on that, Jack?
It
You
was,
said there was a cost on that?
well, this was just the final sheet. This was just the total of everything. The cost, I got it wrong.
All right. Can you leave that with him? I know it's gonna go finish here.
Yeah.
So what are you coming up with the difference? What are you saying it should be at and what versus, they're saying it should be at 375, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and then you're saying it should be,
I'm saying that 275 is a lot closer to
what you could realize, what did you pay for it?
175.
Okay.
And how much have you put into it?
About 4,000 maybe.
He did the work himself though, but I watched him jackhammer the floor out. That's, would have been the most expensive thing. I wouldn't have done it, but he did.
He wants that 275, and he's paying with the land 331.
I think they got the land right, and I think that's a lot, but the lot's gotta be worth that much without a house.
Yeah, we're not.
But
we're
it
not
just really depends. I don't understand why we don't have a gross rent multiplier if it's used, if its highest and best use is used as a rental property. I don't understand that part, and that's maybe a further,
Well, because single-family residences are going to sell that market whether they're being rented or not, for the most part, that, you know.
well, I disagree with you because I have 13 rentals and I know there's some of them I could never sell as I mean, if I sold it as a residential property,
If they're
if
distressed.
it would make sense, it'd be worth way more than as the rent I get out of it. So, and I think that's the case here, but go ahead, Shannon.
I'd like to address that question.
Sure.
So in the appraisal world, there's three approaches to value. The cost approach to value, which estimates replacement cost less depreciation. The sales comparison approach, which looks at sales of similar properties, and the income approach, which is an estimate of future income and expenses and a rate of return from the market. We have to, in our world, we have to create a valuation model. In Commissioner Roskinick's world, he is looking at a single property. We have to appraise all the properties, and we create a valuation model. And we need market data in that model. We have a good model for the cost approach because we have good information on what it costs to build a home, and we have homes that sell, so we get a good estimate of depreciation. And we can create a valuation model that'll accurately value property. We use a sales comparison model because we have a lot of sales, and we know what those properties are like because we're the county assessor. We know how many bedrooms, bathrooms, and all that. And that model is good for valuing properties. When we get to an income approach model, we have a good valuation model on motels and apartment buildings because those properties advertise their rents. They provide us income and expense information, and we have good sales, good income and expense information. With an income approach on a residential property, there are so few of them that are rented and sold that our valuation model wouldn't be accurate. We couldn't trust it. We would have to know what the home sold for and what it rented, so we could calculate our gross rent
So
multiplier.
he bought it for $175,000 and it rents for $2,000.
But we don't know what the market gross rent multiplier is because we don't have that information. There ain't enough data there to compile a valuation model. You're looking at just one property. That would be like looking at an apartment building, and we know what the apartment building rents for, but we don't have a cap rate for apartment buildings in the market. We do, but in this case...
That's not the argument that I got when I went into your office, Shannon. And the fellow I talked to is not in here today. And we went over it. He had all that information available for me on my properties because I was making the same argument about these properties. If they were single-family homes, they're worth way more than they are as rental properties because I can't get... I can only rent them for X amount of dollars, like on his property with an obsolescence. He can't sell it. Who's going to buy it?
Let me back up and say, all three approaches are estimating what the property would likely sell for.
Right, and by law, we're supposed to provide all three, right? Am I wrong or right?
We consider all three.
But you're not considering the rent multiplier here.
We considered the income approach on residential properties, but we don't have enough data to be reliable.
So then you're not considering it then?
Chair.
We considered it, we didn't use it.
I don't want to be argumentative, but go ahead.
So just a question. So have you had a problem renting it since you made the repairs and it's still settling?
I hire a property manager. We've had it less than a year, and
Okay.
I think they have a year lease on it.
Okay.
I haven't heard whether they're going to be moving out yet.
Okay.
Or anything like that.
We have the same issue, and it hasn't affected, basically, with the property for renting it. Trying to sell it, if you have to fix it, of course, we've done that before. And then once we start renting it, of course, then the property went up. And I had a few like that because we did a lot of condemned houses as well, not just basements. But we still have one that has a basement that settles. But we've had no problem renting it. We've also had no problem with the price of the house or anybody wanting to sell it for what we're selling it for. So I'm getting what Ron's saying, but I also see, and they did that with ours, was the 25% reduction because of that. So they gave you some of that back, basically, because of some of the settling. But I'll tell you the truth, I haven't had any problem with that house renting it. I haven't had any problem with, and we had to brace up the floor. We didn't change the foundation at all either. So,
Well, I agree that settling is a different animal. When it settles once, you could use the styrofoam or mud jacket, back up, and you're good. But when it heaves,
yeah. But
you're in trouble.
This property, Mr. Sikora, is right in the middle of town where there's more water, and we have sub pumps in all 3 of our buildings right
Oh,
there,
this
including
is
the house.
What your
So,
property was?
and it's one we rent, and it heaves, and sometimes, you already know from doors. We have commercial on that property, and then we have a rental house that, like you're talking about, same thing, and I just haven't had any problems. I had the sub pumps, and you have to, you know, be straight up with people, but the housing didn't go down, but they did reduce some of because of the foundation and stuff, even though the city, by the way, said we had to get engineer plans to prove that this house was safe still, that kind of thing, because of heaving and stuff. So we went through a few things with this property, but the value never went down. In fact, it kept going up. So just food for thought on some of your stuff, but they did give you a reduction of that 25%.
Okay. Commissioner Roskine's got a comment here too.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
So Jay, on that cost approach, what was your replacement cost new per square foot?
Replacement cost new per square foot.
And just one thing, I wasn't opposed to the 275 and the 56 on the land. I thought that was fair.
Well, when I said 275, I meant as a group.
I don't think you're gonna get where you wanna be, so.
Well, you know, I agree, and when we went to the city said they were gonna they said if they moved the needle too far.
343.
It's what?
43.
343?
New.
He's doing
Okay,
a
so
calculation here.
I use 325, but I'm going to use 343. So I'm just using some of my experience. What I see the day is I think the 343, I don't have a problem with that. And if we take that times 1,400, and then I'm just pulling 50% depreciation out of my head, it's still got value or it wouldn't be rented. And that's 240,100. And then if you add the land, I'm just going to give you a number that I think we might consider. That'd be 296.7. And that's
296.7.
using a 50%.
Is that a motion?
I'll make it a motion. I think it's a good motion.
All right.
Are you sure?
Yes, Commissioner Durr?
No, I'm just questioning. I mean, are you confident? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Pretty sure?
Not 100%, but 99.99.
Okay,
I'm just,
99.9.
I think it's fair.
I think that's fair. And if you take in the cost approach, then you're applying a depreciation for the
50%,
foundation.
and that's
All right.
a pretty good chunk of
Okay,
depreciation.
so
You got a motion.
we have a motion and we have a second from Durr.
Yep.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 296.
296.7 or
296.7.
296.7.
240,100 for the building, 56.6 for the land.
All right.
Thanks, gentlemen. Okay, Shannon, you're up next for Mr. Is it Paul? Paul Weber? Okay. Like I said before, we'll have the assessor, and she's right behind you. She's going to go over her case, and then you can tell us where you think things are different. Laura again.
I know, it's the Laura show today.
Well, that means you're a busy person.
You know who Herman Jones is?
Yeah, I know Herman.
This is his daughter.
Oh, okay, I know Herman for a long time.
Herman's a good man.
Yeah, I
She
met
works
him a
for
long
our
time ago
assessor's office.
when I was working for U.S. Bank.
And he hires a lot of kids in the summer and does some really good stuff in our community, but I didn't know Miss Jones is.
The
part of
cowboy
fam-
supper or whatever? All right, so let's go. Paul's interested in his business. So, all right.
All right, Laura Jones, Pennington County Equalization. Subject property is 25481. Address is 315 San Marco Boulevard. I don't know why I have St. Pierre Street on here.
Yeah, that's I have that house too.
Yeah, I don't know why that's on there, I apologize. Currently, we have, this property is located within the Rapid City limits on the west side of Rapid City. This area continues to be a highly desirable neighborhood with strong and consistent market activity supporting the increased property value. As you can see from the sheet here, he did go before the city board. We currently have the land assessed at $59,400, structure at $365,400 for a total assessed value of $424,800. The city did drop it down to last year's valuation. Land last year, land didn't change at all, so it's $59,400, structure of $297,900 for a total assessed value of $357,300. So there is an increase from last year to this year of 18%, and again, it goes back to sales that are in the area. Let's see here.
Can you tell us the square footage and how much per square foot?
Yep, let's see here, I have that here.
Thank you.
Let me go to the comp sheets here. So his square footage is 1,344 above grade with 816 in the basement. Sale price for the, square footage per square foot for the other comps range anywhere from 283 to 377 a square foot. And puts his value right now, we have it at 316 per square foot at $424,800.
Mr. Chair, when you mentioned per square foot, those should all be based on the main level, so you don't want to include that basement area. So it's 265 actually. If you take the 1,344, right? Is that your main floor?
Right.
And then and then what Ron wants to know is if you take the recommendation of 402
It's $299 a square foot.
divide that by 1,344, it's $299 a square foot.
$299 a square foot. I was saying that the comps average between 283 and 378.
Okay. So.
And so with that being said, my recommendation again is the land at $59,400 and the structure at 402, the structure at $342,600 for a total of 402.
Okay, Paul, so.
Okay, do we have these documents that I sent?
I sure do. I'll pull those in here.
Because I kind of disagree on the comps, because if you scroll up a little bit until I see keep going. So this one here is the property sales, because I live, like I say, on San Marco on the south side of South Canyon. So these are the property sales of all of San Marco and Pier Street, 22 no sales, 23 no sales. And then, of course, again, we got my house valued at $424 on the original assessment, $424. 121 San Marco, that one's right down from Pinedale School. So you can see the sale prices long ways from $424. So can we scroll up to the document I had up there? So these are all the houses. Again, I'm saying within a few houses of mine, because I've got Pier Street.
And these are the assessed values.
These are assessed values, 25 and 26 and these are all the houses, like I say, within a short distance. Because I've got my house, I got a drainage ditch, so it's all the houses on Berry Boulevard, on San Marco, Pier Street, that are all within a short distance of my house. Again, the assessed value, none of them are 424. And then I do have, again, on the previous letter there was a house directly across the street from me that is just sold, but it was on the market for, when I sent this in, and I don't know, whenever I sent it in, but $365 they had it listed for. Today, I know there's new neighbors in there, so today I called and talked to the gal at the Register of Deeds. She said with her the value that she has, that she calculates the fee for the transfer, it's sold for around $360,000. Now, understandable, you know. You have pictures of my house that are on the Equalization's website. As I know they came out in
Any
July
comments
or
from the commission here?
August. And like I say, it's you know, I've cited it. I mean, I'm not saying anything's wrong with my house, but I just think if I go to sell it today, 365 is about the most I'm going to get for it.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner
So I just popped up Rapid Map, and I'm looking at sales within 5 homes of his home. I mean, that's all I know is just they're within 5 homes of his home, somewhere with just a couple doors down.
Yep.
And one sold for $270 in 2024, one sold for $320 in 2025, one sold for $360 in 2025, and the closest one to his sold for $342.5 in 2024. I mean, I don't see anything above $400,000.
Yeah. And there's that one that's 421. Totally overpriced.
Yeah, I'm just.
But right.
I
And
can-
like where Laura had Wentworth, you know, Wentworth and Staten Place, you know,
Yep.
they're a mile away. I mean, they're a long ways away from, I would say, my house. I mean,
So what did the local represent this at?
So the local put it to last year's value of the 357.
357.
and I'm not disagreeing the houses are going to increase in value, but I would assume the valuation that you guys are going to represent is going to be something I can at least sell it for, if I choose. And this is a
Mr. Roskinek.
realistic number.
You have the floor.
Well, obviously, I think just based on what I see, the 402 seems high.
Yeah.
What we could do is take the one that's 2 doors down that sold for $342,500, and that's ID number
Can we compare it to that?
25. Well, if I was an appraiser, that's one I'd be using for sure.
Okay. Can we look and see what square footage and garage? 'Cause
So
you got a
25.
single car garage, Paul?
What's the address, Ron?
The address is 4922 Pierce Street.
Pull that up, Joe?
So 25,444, I'm just trying to get the square footage of that, see what it's assessed at per square foot.
No.
Mr. Chair,
Yes. Joe?
Ms. Hadcock, what do you want me to pull up?
Pull up the address that Ron's talking about, 2 doors down.
So ID number,
Ryan or in Rapid Map?
Rapid Map, 25444.
Did it tell the square footage on that thing?
It does, but you have to get in there a little bit deeper than I am right now. And it sold for
Pull it up online.
$342,500.
What's the comparison difference, why you made your decision, besides it's 2 doors down?
That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
He looked at it, so that's why I asked him the question.
So I got 1,700 square feet.
So it's it's smaller.
1,700 square feet would be larger.
The house is 1,700 square feet.
That's what I'm showing, built in 1958, total living area, above ground 1,700, so if it sold for $342,500 and divide that by 1,700, that's $201 a square foot. I'm not digging in that deep, I'm just saying,
That's a level ranch? 1,700 square feet, one level?
Even the comparable's at 288.
288
This, you mean per square foot? That one is on 424 San Marco. And that it is 1,272 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, basement is 720, which we don't account for that, but that's where that's at. It sold, the sale date was in December of '24, and it sold for $360.
316?
360.
Oh.
And how many square feet is it?
So if you put this
1,272.
288 a square foot, what would that come out to? On this property?
387,072.
Oh, she's just talking about the main floor,
Yeah.
288.
So it'd be higher if you did the same comparable.
So, Paul, what were you thinking for value?
It'd be pretty nice if I could stay with what the city recommended, 257. But like I say, my only thing is what I'd be able to sell it for.
Tell me again what that total was on the
That the
property.
city had?
That you decided on the, that was 288, Ms. Laura? What was that total again?
387,072.
And that would be the total with the land?
Yeah.
59, and then the property, the structure would be at what?
Oh, I'd have to take off the land here. Give me just a second.
Okay.
327,672 without the land.
327,672, so you'd write it up to 327,6, would make it 387, right?
Correct.
That'd be my motion is the land 59.4, property 327.6 or 327, and make it total of 387,000. That's at the
Do we have a-
288 comparable that the other property sold for 360.
Commissioner Durr has a second. We have, so a motion and a second. Does everybody understand it, where we're at?
And as long as there's a reduction, I'm good.
387? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries.
It'd be 59.4
59,
and
4, and 327.
327.6 for 387, right? Ms.
Correct.
Laura?
Yep.
Okay, I think I stated that wrong. Thank you.
Did you get that, Kara? Thank you. Okay.
So
Could I
three-
clarify that?
So it's 59.4 for the land, then it's 327.6 for the structure, total of 387 even. Am I does that come out right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Laura. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Shannon, where are we at? Thanks. Ms. Jones?
Wheeler? Okay, Schultz, Wheeler, I'm not sure. But,
Right on time, Ms. Wheeler.
we're gonna back up, I think. Let's see, we're looking for N.
One
There
before.
we go. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right, Trevor Abernathy again with the Equalization Office. We have a couple different names there just because we're going based on what it's deeded. So that's why
Yes.
we have the Emily Wheeler there. So this is for tax ID 63692. This property is located on Lindsay Drive. It's west of Rapid City, West Highway 44, located in Rolling Hills Estates, which is between Falling Rock and Hysiga. The owner of the subject property is concerned with the animals that are present on the adjacent property to the south of the subject property. There has been a case opened with Pennington County Planning and Zoning regarding this concern about horses and dogs. There was an issue regarding the dog breeding that was occurring on the property next door. However, after communication between that property owner and Planning and Zoning, all breeding websites have been removed. The dogs that are on site are only personal dogs, and any breeding dogs have been moved off site. The owner with the dogs and horses has done everything that the county asked him to do, and there is currently no open violation. I did talk to Planning and Zoning again this morning on this one. Here you can see my inspection photos of the property. So here's the subject property here. Here's the front side of the subject property. We've got the rear. And then back off of this corner over here is going to be the property line where the horses are. So here's the corral of the horses. Wider view of that corral. Behind
That's the neighbor's property?
This is the neighbor's property, correct. So this fence right here is the property line.
Okay.
Right here.
So, okay.
So there's 6 horses on the adjacent property. This is allowed by both county ordinances and Rolling Hills subdivision covenants. So I did include the covenants here just so we could see. On number 5 here, it says livestock, poultry, and other animals. So
you consider horses livestock?
Yes.
Thank you.
No animals, livestock, or poultry of any kind shall be raised, bred, or kept on any lot for commercial purposes. It shall be permissible to graze, pasture, or keep reasonable number of horses on any lot. So it is allowed by both covenants and county ordinance. Looking at some sales here, there's 2 recent comparable properties that are particularly relevant due to their close proximity. Tax ID 8348 right over here is just across the road. So here's the subject property. Here's the neighboring property to the south with the horses that reside right here. So this property sold after the horses were present for $235,000 for just over 2 acres. It's 2.01 acres. And that showed no reduction in value. It looks to be a full market value sale. We have a sale of a property in 2025 here that's right behind both of these properties, touching both, that sold for $620,000 after the horses were present. We're at 96.37% to this sale. It does not show any reduced value either. There's also an older sale that does exist in the subdivision here. At the end of Rolling Hills Drive, there's an ag piece right next to the subdivision. This lot here sold. Again, this is an older sale. It was back in 2016 when it sold, but there are cows present on the adjacent lot. At the time that it sold, it was almost double what we had it assessed for and did not indicate a diminished value due to livestock next door. So my recommendation with this one is no change to the current assessment. I've got land at 185.4, structures at 537,000 for a total of 722,400.
Okay. Ma'am, your turn.
Yep, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't feel that the current assessment reflects my property's true market value because of a significant external factor, a severe and ongoing nuisance on my neighboring property. Specifically, the presence of unmanaged manure accumulation and the number of barking dogs on the property creates what I'm told appraisers call external obsolescence. On this 2-acre property, they have 6 horses, 9 adult dogs, chickens, and cats. For perspective, a quick Google search will tell you that one 1,000-pound horse creates between 20 and 30 pounds of manure per day. The last time the pen was cleaned was for a scheduled visit by County Planning and Zoning in mid-November. And this was after my initial complaint the April previous. So since November, 7 more months have manure has accumulated in this pen. It has been cleaned, sorry. So since it's only been cleaned 4 times in the past 3 years that I've lived there, they have about 13,000 pounds of manure right outside my back door. It smells from my deck on most days. This neighboring property is a documented public nuisance, and it lowers my property value with the odors, the noises, the stockpiled manure. This is all within 100 to 150 feet of my home. These violations create a stigma to my property. And after initially contacting my neighbor in March of 2025 with my concerns, to no avail, I have spent now a year asking planning and zoning to enforce county ordinances without any remedy. So I want to point out these specific nuisances that lower my value. From 106, it talks about manure accumulation and odor. Section 5 states, all disagreeable or obnoxious odors and stenches, as well as the conditions, substances, or other causes that give rise to the emission or generation of such odors and stenches are a public nuisance. O says unspread manure accumulation is a public nuisance. P defines manure deposited within 300 feet of a residence without being incorporated into the soil is a nuisance. This amount of manure, it actually constitutes stockpiling, which causes odors and pest infestations. And while I appreciate that none of planning and zoning ordinance staff people are horse people, the photos, I don't know if you can pull up my photos too.
I've got them up
Oh,
here,
these
yeah.
are mine? Okay, so the photos, they show horses standing on 1 to 2 feet of manure. And that in the center there, that's at least a 3-foot hill running down the middle of it. You know, that's not dirt that they're standing on. It's 6.5 tons of manure. And this is within 100 to 150 feet of my home. And this is also a residential zoned area. It's not a ranch. And then from Ordinance 4, it talks about the sanitary condition, Section 12, states that where animals are kept should be in a condition of good order and cleanliness to minimize the possibility of disease transmission. And then in Section 13, it says maintenance of places where animals are kept. No person may cause or allow any place where an animal besides livestock, and I will tell you, livestock is not defined as these horses in your own ordinance. Livestock is defined as large animals for commercial purposes. No animal may be kept to become unclean by allowing feces or garbage to build up, creating an unwholesome environment. If 6 horses are standing in that amount of manure, it is a direct violation of humane maintenance. Second, with the excessive noise with all the barking dogs, I do have a flash drive that I'd like to play of recordings that I've taken.
This has been on our radar with Planning Commission. Nothing's come,
It's been over a
come
year.
forward from them. Trevor, were you out there?
Yes, I was out there.
Did you see any obsolescence?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
I think I might be familiar with the property. Is this the adjoining property? Is it the Tisch property? Okay. So if I can have a couple minutes.
Yeah, go
So this
ahead.
got brought up last year, and this is what initiated some change in the ordinance, the animal ordinance that we just went through. And so, and I know that Commissioner Roskinek's familiar with it because I did get some phone calls on this. So I do know that there was mitigation efforts done by the property owner. Some of the horses were moved, a building was moved, some other mitigation efforts were there, and it's my understanding that you just reported that they're currently in compliance with our ordinance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
With 6 horses.
Yeah,
I don't believe that amount of manure, it's only grown since, Trevor was out since I took my.
When was your house built?
2022.
2022. Were these people already living there when you built your house?
There were no horses on the property, or when I purchased it.
So do we have any more questions from the commission?
Mr. Chair, Emily mentioned external obsolescence, and in my opinion, there is. The thing of it is that how do you measure that? I don't know that there's a appraiser in South Dakota that could sit there and go out there and quantify what that damage is. And it varies, when they clean it up, it looks good, and then it accumulates. I just don't know what the answer is, but I do feel that there's some kind of an external issue there. I don't know how to measure it.
So,
Clean
Chair.
it, have them clean
Hold
it
on,
up.
hold on, a second,
Ma'am.
ma'am. So,
Commissioner Hadcock?
even in the ordinance, it says clean and sanitary, so anybody, Jerry, you'll probably be able to answer that. So if horses are, is it normal for them to have pens full of manure that don't they have to clean them and not have them manure-free in order to be able to be clean and sanitary for the horses, let alone the people that are, going in there feeding them or doing whatever? How much manure is too much manure, how about that, for animals to be standing in or left in pens for odor or otherwise?
So, yeah, I'm just going to give an example. And so let's just say, which we didn't have this winter, but let's just say you have in the wintertime, it's difficult to go out and clean corrals in the wintertime because all of this stuff freezes and you're not going out there on a daily basis in a large corral or whatever to go ahead and pick those. Some people do. Let's just say, if it was more than 6 horses or if it's cattle or sheep or whatever, typically nobody is going out there in the wintertime to do daily maintenance on that. And so you let it build up. When it thaws, you go clean it out.
Okay, so can I ask you something, ma'am? During the time that you lived there, have they cleaned it up like Jerry said? Have they went in? Because I understand what Jerry's saying too. There's circumstances and times that's not going to happen. But in general, is it a normal basis that they have that much manure in there?
No, it's normal. Yeah, it's been cleaned. And since 2022, since they started accumulating the horses, it's been cleaned 3 times.
Okay, so Jerry, then does it become an issue for horses if it's not being, is that called not properly taking care of horses if they're standing in feet of manure all the time?
Well, I can't, I'm looking at it and I can't determine that that's feed of manure. I do know that on this property, I do know when the complaint came forward that the horses were moved because it was over the acreage we had in the previous ordinance. And so prior to adopting this, I do know that they moved some of the horses off this property to an adjoining property. And I don't know if they're out there, in a dry lot or in a corral. I don't know. But I do know when I hear it's in compliance with the ordinance, that's what I'm looking for.
And
that's a picture I would like to say those horses have never moved off the property. They're saying that $225,000 sale, apparently they have some sort of lease for a property behind them, and that one across the street that's empty, there's no intention of ever moving the horses, and they never have.
I'm going to rein this in. So what
Well, I'd
is-
like to have my
Yeah, but I
questions.
want to understand, she's saying that there's an obsolescence. So let's just leave it at that and say, is there or isn't there? And
Well, that's
do we
why
need to
I'm
make an
asking it.
adjustment?
I'm trying to get
It's
to
already
it.
been through the course. The county people are saying there is no obsolescence. The planning department says everything's been taken care of. So there you go. I don't know what else you can do.
Trevor, you're
outside of
saying that because of manure, because of the area, the horses are fine. My main issue here is it natural? I don't want dogs to be living on, crap. I don't want horses to be living on something they shouldn't. I'm more worried about that as well. And then us saying that it's fine, it's good, it doesn't affect the property, the horses are doing well. That's a normal thing. That's all I'm asking, because if it's not, then it causes an issue. If it is, and you're saying, and Ron, you're right, if you're saying that there isn't, they filed, they're in compliance with planning and zoning and you guys, then we can move forward, right?
Yeah, and I would like to point out as well that I'm not, our office isn't one to enforce the county ordinances. I'm basing that off of conversations I've had with planning and zoning. And then what I did, since this issue was raised, I looked for sales in the area, and what better than 2 properties that are right next to this property,
Right.
and they indicated no diminished value.
So someone keeps saying whatever obsolescence for our
External
cracked,
obsolescence,
yeah, for cracked basements, for junk in people's yard that we just did. This would, to me, be junk in someone's yard that you might not want to live by because of smell or whatever. But if that is taken care of and the young lady is saying that causes an issue, I'm going to tell you from living in neighborhoods, maybe not with horses, is that going to be an issue for trying to sell that property? Because to me, that causes some kind of issue to try to live by there by 6 horses. And I had said that in the ordinance change. I'm not against horses, not against livestock, but how much livestock should be on there? And if people are taking care of the horses and.
That picture that's up on your screen there, Commissioner Hadcock, that's
Yes.
the house with the horses on it right there.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I think the only way anybody will ever understand this is just go out there and look at the property, then make your own determination. Everybody that's looked at it, some it doesn't bother. I know that if I had that house, that quality, and I was sitting on my deck, and it was a hot summer day, and I could hear the flies and smell that, I probably wouldn't appreciate it.
So, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Durr.
Okay. I'm just going to go off of what equalization has, and I do know what planning and zoning has per our ordinance, and I think it would be difficult for us to do anything different. So I'm going to make no change to the assessment, land at 185,400, structure 537, for a total of 722,400.
Do we have a second?
I'll make a substitute motion. Just keep it at 2025 until we get this figured out.
What? I mean, what are we gonna do, though? I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna figure out? I mean, I wanna have a clear direction if we're gonna figure
I'll
something out.
second for discussion. I'll second for
Let's have
discussion.
a motion.
I just think
Chair.
that,
Go ahead.
I've looked at it too, and I think when we go out there, there's been notice, and it is clean. And we're not seeing what Emily sees most of the time. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
I've invited planning and zoning to
No, I was
come
out
and
there.
look.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm just so confused how the county says that that's compliant with that 6.5 tons of manure sitting next to my property. I would rather they have to clean it up. And there's already in the ordinance a remedy for this. But it's been over a year now and nothing has been done. They cleaned it one time when they were given 2 weeks for a scheduled visit by the county. That they cleaned it, and that was 7 months ago.
Chair, I think Drews wants to speak.
Commissioner Drews.
So it would appear to me that we need to ask the enforcement side in the county to go out and make another visit. And
That would be
make
part
some-
of,
Make some
would
determination.
that be the solution to Commissioner Roskinick's
Yes.
Just
caveat?
don't think there ought to be a heads up. It ought to just be spontaneous.
And we have continued issues before with,
We have two, I
Commissioners
mean,
and
we have 2
people
weeks, so we
looking
can
at-
just leave it as is and then continue.
bring her
it.
back after we get a look in planning and
Well,
zoning.
and I can tell you, I complained again, and there were 2 large piles in front of that pen. And I complained at the beginning of March. I sent an email to Brittany, and they looked, and I guess Dwayne talked to the homeowners, and they said that they would have it cleaned up by mid-March. They picked up the 2 large piles in front of that pen. And then I got an email saying that Dwayne was by and it's all clean. And I sent an email back saying I disagreed with pictures of the actual pen, and I never had a response from the county.
So,
And obviously now there's no open complaint.
So we have continued issues so other commissioners could go look at the property, and you can tell if people cleaned it up or played the game. So
But,
I
mean,
think we should continue
Playing the
this.
game, I mean, cleaning up your property is part of the way we enforce.
I know, but I'm just saying, if we could
I
continue.
mean, if we continue this, let's have a clear decision of what, so we can give everybody a clear answer of what decision we're gonna make. What has to happen here?
So it's not a clear decision until we look at it and we
Okay.
talk to
So
planning.
basically, the substitute motion would say, leave it the same until you go look at it?
Mr. Chair, I believe Dwayne stepped in.
Here's Dwayne right here. Okay.
Thank you, Dwayne.
I just don't like sending people out there with some obscure,
Mr. Chair. Yeah, Dwayne, what should we assess this property at?
Well, sir, Dwayne Allen, Ordinance Enforcement for Planning and Zoning. I was out there on the 25th also, same time. Trevor
25th
was,
of March?
Basically, of March.
And what's today, the 10th? So
Today is the
15 days ago?
14th, so 20 days roughly.
Weeks.
The property looked pretty good at the time. I know even in a email from Mr. Ruskinak himself, he said that the property looked immaculate when he was out
It
there.
looked what?
That the property looked immaculate or looked
That was
really
from
good.
Commissioner Roskinek
That was one of
on
his
15
emails.
days ago?
Oh, that was
Within the last
over a year
few
ago.
months.
A year ago.
That was after his scheduled visit.
Okay.
Right. But the property is clean. I've had other people that own horses look at the video. They said the horses are very well taken care of. They don't even sink up more than 2 to 3 inches when they were walking across there. So it's not that deep. And that was right after a cleanup too. So it has been cleaned up at least 2 to 3 times since I've been taking note of this property.
All right.
I have the dates of the cleanup.
I'm sorry, ma'am, hold on.
I have the dates of the
Ma'am?
cleanup. That's not true.
Did you clean it up? Did you clean it up?
Did
Did you do the cleanups?
I do the
Yeah,
cleanup?
let us go through this process here.
okay.
Thank you. So, what do you guys want to do? Want to vote on this motion? Or do you want to rechange the motion? What do you want
How
to do?
about if we send Dwayne out there after this meeting?
You guys aren't listening to him anyway. He just told you he was there on the 25th. I'll do whatever you guys want to do, but I don't want him to go out there and then have you guys come back and go, well, we don't agree. If you want to go look at it yourselves, I'm good with that.
Well, is it reoccurring, or is it just getting clean because we're making them clean, Dwayne? How many complaints before this have we had, and then they finally cleaned it? Or have they been clean all the way, and once in a while, like Jerry said, it happens due to weather and stuff like that? Is it consistent, or is it not consistent?
He cleans probably about every 3 to 4 months is what he has been doing, and it does depend on the weather. Horses do need to have some kind of footing when they're in a pen like that so they don't fall in the
So
wintertime.
How many times last year did you go out there, Dwayne?
Oh, I was up there a lot last year, back and forth several times.
What's a lot? Like
but
3 times, 5 times during the
five,
year?
probably 5 or 6 times I've passed through there.
Okay.
And
That's not true. I have
Okay,
the
Mr.
dates.
Chair.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. When you talk, please address the chair because he's given his opinion or his actual what he did. And then so we're going to go to.
Ma'am, he has to have documentation before he speaks
Okay.
like that. Okay,
So
thank you.
if he has
Yeah,
that's
Mr.
fine.
Chair. So,
Commissioner Durr.
yeah, so I'm just going to let you know that he does track this. And so when Dwayne is reporting to the Board of Commissioners and saying he's estimating he's been out there that many times, I'm not going to question him. I believe, obviously, he's telling the truth. So when it said when this initial complaint came in that nothing has been done on the property, could you explain what has been done on the property other than clean?
The shed originally was too close to the property line, so we had him move the shed additional 25 feet from the property line, so it met setbacks. Then he has cleaned it up, like I said, two or three times at least, I believe.
This year? This year, okay.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Hadcock, do you have a question?
He said this year, and last year
Well,
5 times.
Last year he cleaned it up, or this year he's cleaned up at least once.
Okay.
Last year, probably a couple of times that I can recall.
You said 5.
Yeah, well, that's how many times I have probably driven
Oh,
by
okay,
there.
okay, thank you.
And, because if I'm in the area, I would drive by and double check it just to see what's going on.
Just because it's
Do you
a
do that for
continuous
anybody
complaint.
else?
Yes, sir, I do.
Drive by.
Every once in a while, if there's a complaint that's an ongoing type, if I'm in the area and it's not far
And then
away,
you
I
document
will drop
it.
by. or
That
whatever.
makes more sense.
So,
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So where are we at? Is there any more questions?
There's a motion to continue still, I think,
Nope.
on the floor.
We have a motion. The motion on the floor is the one Ron made about continuing until you guys got out there to see it, so.
Okay.
I want to be fair. If that's what you guys want to do, then we've narrowed it down to that's what we're going to do. Sending Dwayne out there is not going to do any good.
It's your district, Ron, and you want to look at it, or what do you want to do?
I'll head that way when I leave. I'll drive by there and take pictures.
Okay, so
And I'll
we'll-
just share the pictures, and you guys determine what you see.
Okay, so we'll,
Continue it till the next, when do we continue it till then, if to bring these folks back?
We'll have to find one of the days at the end of the month. We don't know. We don't have a schedule here right now.
ma'am, does that work for you then?
I'm sure it will.
Back?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not getting out measuring.
Bottom line, I'd like to just see it right
Well,
around.
I just want you guys to be comfortable with it, but I don't
And I
want to
trust
have,
Dwayne and
I
our
don't want to have some
equalization.
obscure,
Yes.
okay.
So
Well,
I
you'll
can
have
ask-
pictures taken this afternoon.
And I know you're a good picture taker.
Yeah.
Bottom
check 'em
line
out.
is you'll never hurt by giving commissioners another
I'm
look.
fine with that.
That'd be the motion,
All
then the
right.
second.
So all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we're going to go out and take pictures, and then they'll schedule another date for you to come back, so.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, where are we at, Shannon?
Property owner is Haney. It is Q. Or here.
Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta go over here so I can show your pictures and stuff.
I think there's a few people up here that are going to argue with you about that shirt. No, the other fellow, the guy behind you there,
Hey,
looking
the
over
girl
your,
across
the
the
guy
street.
looking over your shoulder there. So, but anyway, we're going to let him go forward with his presentation, and we'll have you guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Eric Hupp, Department of Equalization. Standing up here with me, I have Larry and Nancy Haney regarding tax ID 26241. Location of the subject property is 2101 West Florman Street. Mailed out assessment was for $165,800, of which $55,300 is land, $110,500 was in structures. Conducting an interior and exterior inspection of the 1959 home showed the home was nearly all original with one addition. There is some settling of the home with one large crack in a bedroom wall and some separation between the original home and the addition. Other smaller cracks were noted along edges and corners in parts of the home consistent with normal aging, wear, and tear. There appeared to be deferred maintenance throughout the property and no other updates besides the addition. Subject property currently has a 30% reduction value due to the foundation concerns. There was an appeal made to local boards who voted for no change. Let me just bring up.
So, Mr. Cup, this has a senior freeze on it at 116.7, so does anything we do even change that?
No.
No.
So we do, if we lowered it, it still doesn't change the 116.7. We raised it, it doesn't change the 116.7. So I guess I'll go to you folks and say, what is your goal here? Because nothing we do is gonna change the value that you have.
We talked about this before we came, and we were
Okay.
sitting here and going, okay, we've got our taxes frozen, but we still don't think it's worth that much money.
165,000?
No, I would
Okay,
say
even, it doesn't change your assessment value, though.
Okay,
So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't change anything. But I can guarantee if you can live in that thing and it's 900 square feet or 700 square feet, it's worth 165,000 all day long.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
up to you. What do you guys want? Any comments from the commission? Get a motion?
Our fence is like laying in the neighbor's yard because then it keeps encroaching.
Your fence is? I would have somebody pick it up and fix it?
Well, we're
Or-
going to. We
Okay,
have to
perfect. Okay.
just come up with some
You
money.
guys got a senior freeze, so that's an awesome deal for you guys. I'm
Yeah,
happy
we're
for you.
very happy.
So I
in
would
that
just
thing.
do a little bit of maintenance around your house so your neighbors aren't coming in trying to get a value reduction because you.
No, they're not complaining.
All right, you look like great people, so.
We got good neighbors.
So would you get a motion up here?
So tell them that you're gonna leave it the same because you have a tax freeze and that
Okay.
your property might go up, but then when you sell it, when you're retired or don't wanna live in it anymore, it'll be worth more money. So you okay.
We're already retired.
You see what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying? So when
You're
you
sweet people,
when you
so.
sell it later, you're gonna get
Yeah.
more money for it so you
Okay.
want it to go up? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's
So
just,
we have a motion to leave it the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a
Okay.
second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
hey,
same sign.
thank you,
Hearing
guys.
none.
Appreciate it.
No,
Have a good
appreciate
day.
you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, Mr. Cup.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck, Ernie.
Thank you.
We'll see the greatest grandpa ever. We'll see you later. All right.
We're waiting yet.
What?
Another 10, 15 minutes we expect. That's when he said he's coming in, so.
So what's the next one?
Last one, Perry Martin.
O?
You guys want to take a technical break for 10 minutes?
Perry Norton will be the last.
Perry Martin.
Try to be back here when he comes so we'll get rolling again. Get you guys out of here. Gary's got
Subject property number is 12574. Address is 10130 Thompson Canyon. Owners are Perry and Teresa Norton. The subject is located in the Bowles Canyon, 6 Mile Road, Moon Road area close to the Wyoming border. So it's way west of Rapid City here in the Rochford area.
Seen them before.
At this point, the issue for me is that we're not over-assessed. The issue is that the county has already reduced the property below market value. The DOE supports the 2006 assessed value of $178,700, which is only $7,400 above the taxpayer's request for reduction. First, the land value is already set at $133,300, which is exactly what the taxpayer is asking for. So there's no disagreement on the land value. It is also important to recognize that the county has already made significant reductions because of access to this property. The property's total value has dropped from over $300,000 or $330,000 in 2024 to today's value of $178,700, a reduction of more than $150,000. Now, looking at the market, this property is located in the Bowles Canyon, Rochford area. It's a highly desirable location. Sales are limited not because of lack of demand, but because the owners hold on to these properties long-term because they're unique, they're exquisite, they're awesome to go to. We do see sales through that support the higher values. One property, let me pull up, just on your screen here, this is his cabin on his land. It's his property is 11.5 acres. He purchased it back in 1992. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the comparable sales here. Again, we don't have, I'm going to click on these links. These links are from Zillow. All of them are off of Bowles Canyon. This one that says Dale Road, it's actually, when we look at it, we can see a little bit more detail of where it's actually located. But this just sold this last year for $287,500.
So we're in agreement on the land value, but not on the building?
Correct. Let's see here.
What's wrong with the building? Why is it only $40,000?
It's a dry cabin.
Okay.
So that really is the only thing that we have. He uses that as a guest cabin, and we have it assessed as a guest cabin at $45,400. The estimated replacement cost on that cabin is $88,000.
So there's no water, no sewer, but the cabin itself is not obsolete?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Mr. Sir, you go ahead and give us a reason why you think this is overvalued.
Well, before I get started, nice to meet any of you that I don't know. This is a pretty old song for me and some of the commissioners and some of the staff.
Okay.
Anyway, last year we came to an agreement on the land. I thought that was a reasonable compromise from both sides. And I thought then that I was giving in a little too much on the value of the cabin. Mm-hmm. And I know we have statistics and all this, the comparables, but if you switch back to the picture of that cabin.
Can we switch back to the picture?
You'll see some of the problems.
Okay.
Notice the end grain of those logs? That's rot. If you go to the back door of that cabin, I've got to replace the bottom log to start with. Mm-hmm. That's just to catch up. And, you know, the reason I can't get caught up is the same reason as staff came to the agreement we did last year, that there's a lot of problems with access. There's a lot of problems with being able to get there. You know, busy people work for a living. It's not like I spend all my time keeping up with my cabin. The building is in, I hate admitting it, but decaying condition, and it's not going to last a whole lot more years without a bunch of work. And that's the whole basis of my guesstimate on the building value.
Let's go back to the total value again, because that's 10 acres in the Rochford area. What were you appraising those acreages before? For like $20,000 an acre? So, and this is how many acres? So right alone, just your value of your land to be equal should be around $200,000, $220,000.
Excuse me,
Yep.
if you could get to it most of the year.
Okay. And I think
Rochford
that
Road's-
we had a $800,000 property here earlier, had the same issue. They had to go down a bicycle trail to get to it. That's probably some of the allure to these properties, but your use is mainly in the summertime? In the summer cabin?
Nowadays, yes.
Okay.
So in the old days,
So
usually a lot
your
more.
argument is that the cabin is, can we go back to the numbers there? You're saying the cabin is not worth 40,000?
Correct.
Correct? Okay. So what do you think it's worth?
Forgive me, I came early, I didn't study my notes.
Oh, that's fine.
What did I put down on the?
You had it down at,
40.
the land value at 133,300 and the building at 38,000,
So we're off by 7,000.
7,400.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
how many square feet is the cabin? It's for Commissioner Roskedek's benefit.
I don't have that information.
I
Looks like about
believe,
400, but
Don, could we look at the,
we considered it 700 and change last time we had this discussion?
So 621, 12 by 29, 19 by 29. $551 if you go 19 by 29.
There is a small loft in it too that adds
Oh,
to the
okay,
square
well,
footage.
we're just gonna take the main floor, 551 square feet. Mr. Roskinek, you have the floor.
I guess what I do is I look at the utility, what is it currently used for? And I see a lot of egg properties out there around Deerfield, and the utility would be, they were a cabin, now they became a storage. Because, if you can keep the rain out, you can store stuff in there, so. Just trying to figure out, so could a person go up there still and use it, even though the logs are decaying? Can you still, has it got a bed? Is it watertight? Can you go up?
Yep, you can go inside and stay out of the rain.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Durr?
I'm going to make a motion that we stick with the assessed value by equalization at 133.3 and 45.4 for a total of 178.7.
I'll
Yep.
second it.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other comments? Only comment I'll make is that, are we being fair on this land being at 12,000 an acre, or should it, but I'll go with what Mr. Roskinek says, so.
Chair,
Supply and demand, and I can tell you that right now, I feel the demand clearly outweighs the supply,
Okay.
especially in that area.
So we may have a problem of an undervaluation.
may I, so
Go ahead.
a couple years ago, they did put a functional on the property because of the access.
Okay.
So that's why you see the reduction on that is, Don they had looked at that as a whole, and it was everybody in that particular.
Okay, so you think we're good there then? All right, so we have a motion on the floor to leave it the same. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll get you the same. I think we were fair, to say the least, fair.
Well, thanks for your time.
You bet.
Thank you.
We have a motion to adjourn?
Just recess.
Oh, no.
No close.
Motion for a recess. We're going to take a break, Joan, I'm sorry.
We're done.
Recess until next meeting.
We'll be here next meeting. Will be what day?
Next week on.
It's Thursday, the 30th.
Thursday the
Feels
30th.
like
And I want
2
to
weeks
thank
from
all the
now.
assessors for being patient with us and understanding, we're.
Well, we have those days, but we don't have anything scheduled.
We might be back the 28th.
We might be back to 28th.
Yeah,
It's up to Shannon.
scheduling the 30th, and if we get too many of them, we'll back into the 28th.
Okay. Okay, so it could be the 28th or the 30th.
We're
so-
in recess.
Yep, we're in recess till then, and we will let everybody, we will notice ahead of time. So thanks, guys. Thanks again, Shannon and Jordan, for putting all the work